For the first 2 days, the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022 focused on the under-18, the under-20, the future stars, and we were treated to some wonderful track and field, including World Championship qualifying standards being achieved. Today, day 3, the seniors come out to play for the first time. You will see stars like Zoe Hobbs, Tian Velpton, Idiosai and Getia. You will also get treated to the wonderful running of Portia Bing and also distant stars as well, highlighted by Hayden Wild, an Olympic medalist at triathlon. This is going to be an absolutely cracking day. My name is Nigel Yolden, alongside me, Hayden Shearman. Welcome to day 3 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022, live on Sky Sport Next. There you see some of our first competitors for the day getting ready. We do have a race walking to take place. That is the women's 10,000 metres race walk. There's also the under 20 over the 10,000 metres and the 5,000 metre event for athletes under the age of 18. The race walk's a little bit of the exception to the rule. We've seen the seniors already competing earlier in the week, along with the under 18 and under 20s, and today, as the distances get a little bit bigger again, we see those two age brackets combine. This is, though, a fascinating day for a number of reasons. Of course, it does feature the 100 metres, which really has been a massive standout of this already rich and vibrant athletic summer throughout Aotearoa. The star of the show, most definitely, Zoe Hobbs, and also Tian Velpton. Zoe, Hayden, she's just been absolutely outstanding. We've seen her take down the New Zealand record on regular instances now, and surprised herself with a time she wasn't really expecting to run at the Sir Graham Douglas. As we sit here right now, it's already warm. It's already very warm. There's not too much of a breeze as well. And Hayden, you would suspect that sprinters walking through the gates to the Hawke's Bay Sports Park today are going to be looking at these conditions just going, the day is built for me to run really, really fast. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Kia ora, Nigel, kia ora viewers. It's good to be here in the sunny Hawke's Bay, and like you say, rocking up this morning. It is beautiful conditions, just not a puff of wind at the moment, and just lovely sunshine. So it's going to be quite warm out there for our walkers kicking off as we see them go through their strides and last minute checks and warm-ups. But yes, 100 metres is one of the big highlights today to look forward to. So we'll have Zoe Hobbs and then a whole bunch of women trying to chase her, the likes of Rosie Elliott and Anna Percy and Livy Wilson. And then, of course, with the men, that big battle, Idiosai and Ketia, we've got him into the country, and he'll be competing in the 100 today and then the 200 tomorrow alongside Tian Welpton, and it'll be great to see how close they can get to that New Zealand record. And in these conditions, you know, it's all on. It's all on.
Well, we saw great sprinting, as I say, over the first 2 days, including an under-20s standard being achieved. In terms of what we're looking for, as you look at it right now, it's just beautiful. Again, it's just that sort of paintbrush sort of cloud above as our athletes get underway. That there is in the 5,000. Yes, the under-18 5,000 race walk. Oh, they've gone a bit early by the looks, and they've been called back.
Yeah, so a little bit of confusion because we've got 2 start lines. So the 10,000 metre women, they are on screen there. They're starting at the start-finish line for the 10,000 metres, so they'll be doing 25 laps. And the 2 women on screen, they're your under-18 5,000 metre starters, so they will start on the opposite side of the track and do 12.5 laps. So I think we just had a sinking error where the 10,000 metre athletes weren't ready to roll, and so good little practice run there.
So there you see 3 athletes. 2 of those are the seniors. 374, that is Courtney Rusk. 334, that is Laura Langley. And then you have also got there as well Antonia Martin, who is the under-20 race entrant. And as we look back over to that far side, just the 2 in the under-18, we have had a late withdrawal in that particular event. And the competitors in that one, Alana Matthews of Auckland and Sarah Dutoy of Wellington. Sadly no Molly O'Reilly or Corrine Smith. Corrine, who had a nice race walk on our opening day on Thursday.
Yes.
So,
and we also saw, just when the cameras clicked on, saw Jonah Kropp claim his medal, which he took out the 5,000 metre race walk at the under-18s. Just kicking things off. Now, the winners from last year in this event were Courtney Rusk, took out the 3K in 14:28 and the 10K in 52:27. So that's the sort of time that we'd be looking for Courtney to go through. And so kind of 5-minute Ks, 12K an hour. That's the sort of speed that we're looking at from Courtney. And we'll see with Laura Langley. She's a well-performed walker. She's got a number of national titles and national medals. I believe she came second in this event behind Alana Barber a couple of years ago, walking 49 minutes 35. So that little battle between her and Courtney will be a very interesting one, the two Cantabs.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see as well how they've started out very similar to what we saw with the 3,000 metres on the opening game. It was, again, Laura who was leading out there. We see Laura ahead of Courtney. And it was quite interesting. As they came into the home straight there at one point, they were in a very similar position to what they are now. We're only around about 4 laps in, but there was a warning given to Laura. And straight away, Courtney just pounced. And that really was the break that ended up seeing Courtney win the 3,000. And that was on the opening day. Other events coming up today, and this is one there's a bunch of really good events. I mean, right in your alley, Hayden Shearman, 800 metres for both women and for men as well. We've seen some really good performances. Catherine Camp has been running very well. They've got a field there that includes Emma Douglas, Jennifer Hocker, Tilly Hoyer, Holly Manning, Jessie Speedy, Rosa Twyford, Kerry White. The men's event as well. We saw a great race last week with James Preston, but again, he's not going to have that all his own way, where there's some really good talent lurking around him. Of course, we finished the day, as I say, with the 5,000s, and we've got Laura Nagel, who's just in career best form at the moment, and your mate, the weapon, Hayden Wild, coming back to have another crack. Well, it'll be 3 on the bounce if he could win the 5,000 at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
That would be incredible. And, bronze medalist in the triathlon, back in the running. So the triathlon season's been decimated by COVID cancellations. Just so tricky to run a triathlon with all the restrictions and transition changes that they need to do. So good thing for us is that we get to see more of Hayden Wild on the athletics track and running the 5,000. He won the mile down in Christchurch last weekend. I was speaking to Craig Kirkwood, who is his coach and unfortunately can't be here again with COVID restrictions today, but he was saying Hayden's in pretty good shape, so expect him to light up the 5K. Little joke going around about Hayden Wild is he's been often called on various media outlets Hamish Wild by mistake, which is his brother, who's a well-performed cricketer actually. He's a bowler who's played over in the UK, but he's definitely not a runner. And so there's debate whether we're going to see Hamish Wild today or Hayden Wild, so we'll need to see how that one goes.
You're going to have to stick around with us here on Sky Sport Next to 5 o'clock to find out. I have it on good authority. It will be Hayden, but, look, I'm sure if Hamish decides to compete, I'm sure he'll acquit himself very well, given that family's competitive history. One other thing that we want to talk about again as we continue to watch our leaders in the 10K race walk, it is Laura Langley at the moment leading Courtney Rusk, and as you can see them sort of pacing very much together, as you'd expect from clubmates. They spend a lot of time training, working together. One of the really neat parts about this weekend, we normally have a separate combined events national championship, so that is the heptathlon, the decathlon. To have the combined eventers competing over the course of the next 2 days, Hayden Shearman, how cool is that? Does that just really, that to me just makes it feel, look, we know this is a track and field meeting, but just having that particular group of athletes here just gives it that extra feel of, hey, this really is a track and field championship. It's great to have them involved, I think, over the next 2 days.
Yeah, wonderful. And I think this is a great addition. I was talking to some of the crew earlier this morning and saying this will be the first time we've actually been able to broadcast a national decathlon championships to my knowledge, and heptathlon, of course. So that'll be really exciting. We've got Aaron Booth, who was the World University Games winner back in 2019. He'll be competing. and up against, likes of Max Atwell, and then the women's field is also very strong. Brent Newdick will be turning up for the decathlon. I thought he was retired, so I'm excited to see if he can take it to the young guns as well. So that is going to be thrilling to watch that narrative unfold. So the men, of course, doing 10 events. The women will do 7 across the 2 days. And it really is the true test of who's the ultimate athlete. And we'll find that out by the end of the weekend. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. That field, by the way, for the women's heptathlon, you're looking at Hayley Marks out of Otago, Christina Ryan and Maddie Wilson out of Canterbury, and Alice Taylor out of Manawatu Wanganui. We've seen a fair bit of Maddie, because you always see her popping up. And they multi-eventers, when they don't actually have a decathlon, they just go to a track and field meeting and they just pop up and they do everything. And I think we saw that with Maddie at the Graham Douglas. She was throwing javelin. She was doing a high jump at one end. Next minute she pops up at the other end because she's got a javelin to throw, and then she's stepping out and she's doing a shot put event, all sort of at around the same time. So it'll be great to see those athletes, and obviously sort of the accumulation of points over the course of the 2 days. It's great to have them involved. Then we see the style of Alana Matthews. She's one of our competitors in the under 18.
Sunny's on, and that's a good idea in this bright sunshine. I tell you, I thought we were going to be sitting in the shade today, but we have baking hot sun pouring down on us in that morning sun.
We've got the sunscreen just over there for you, mate. I honestly suggest you swathe yourself in it, which I have done as well. I would be suspecting that a lot of the athletes, they will be having to be very sun smart today. Make sure they've got the hydration levels up nice and high.
Now, the other events that you may have been getting to this, but I do have to prep everyone, because the other field events coming up today are pretty stellar as well. So we have the likes of Anna Grimaldi, women's para long jump gold medalist from last year. She'll be in the long jump. Competing alongside the other women. Then we've got Tori Peters in the javelin. We've got the women's pole vault. We have the men's high jump, so we'll be seeing Hamish Kerr at 3 o'clock. And then at 3:05, we've got Nicole Bradley and Lauren Bruce going head-to-head in the hammer. And then at 3:15, the big battle that I've been waiting all summer long for, Jacko Tom going head-to-head in the shot.
You did negate to mention a certain Holly Robinson
in
that javelin as well. She is more than worthy of inclusion alongside Tori Peters. In fact, there'll be some people saying, "How could you not put Holly ahead of Tori?"
How good was that victory of hers in the javelin at the Para Olympics? Is just phenomenal. Last throw in the rain, claiming that title. This is going to be a wonderful day of athletics. It's all the seniors. This is the cream of the crop in domestic athletics. So stay glued to your screens.
By mentioning Holly Robinson as well, it's a perfect segue into the fact that it is not just about the Olympians. It's about our para athletes as well. And again, we've got world class. We've already mentioned 2 of them, Anna Grimaldi and Holly Robinson. So I think William Stedman, is competing. It might not be today for William, but we've got Williams going to be competing. Daniel Aitchison will be competing today as well in the sprint. So just another reminder there that we have just got class, no matter what you're looking for in terms of your field events, your running, your para athletes. We got you covered here on Sky Sport Next today. We are just going to take a short break. As you can see, we're just coming up 9.5 minutes into the 10,000 metre race walk, 10K race walk, and it continues to be Langley ahead of Rusk, very similar to what we saw on the 3K on Thursday. We'll just take a short break and we'll be back with more coverage of the race walk and start prepping you up for some of these wonderful field events and also the start of the decathlon. You're watching the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships on Sky Sport Next.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
We know a country that will refresh you and recharge you and just make you feel a whole lot better about things. This country is food and wine country, but you probably know it as Hawke's Bay.
The Hits Live Free is back. Listen out for the key songs weekdays on The Hits. Hear it, call, and go in the draw to win one of 5 keys that could unlock The Hits Live Free safe. 1 year, no rent, no mortgage. The Hits.
Absolutely glorious day, Hawke's Bay. This is day 3 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022. That is Alana Matthews, who currently is leading the 5K, the 5,000 metres race walk for the under-18 women. She has a good break over Sarah DeToy of Wellington. As they work their way down the back straight, here comes your leaders, and the senior woman, that is Laura Langley and Courtney Rusk, the Canterbury teammates.
So these two doing really well working together. They went through 2K in 9:44, so that says they're just ahead of that 5-minute per K schedule. So we're on track for a time under 50 minutes, which would be a great effort from these two ladies.
Well, just looking at Courtney, she's got a track PB of 51 minutes 33.42. So we say a track, but she's also got a New Zealand record back in 2014, 49 minutes 40.78. So she can go sub 50, although that's obviously a few haircuts ago for Courtney, who's now 27 years of age. But as you can see them just working nicely, and similar again to what we saw, as I say, in that 3K event from Thursday. Laura doing a little bit more of the work out front, and Courtney just quite happy just to pace along. There we see Alana. She's coming down, and she will have 8 laps to go as we see our volunteers with the two. Actually, it's 8 laps to go for Sarah, who's actually just gone through ahead of that lady on your screen there. You see Alana, and as we track back very shortly, you're going to see one of our officials, and they've got the folder open. Coming up there. There they are. That's showing. So that one there is for, on the left, that's for our under-18s. And then the main board there, which showing 19, that is for our senior athletes.
You're doing a great job. The officiating of the race walk is a rather complex thing. You've got multiple judges around the track, and they will be looking for 2 things. So you want to have a nice straight leg, so no bend at the knee at that initial contact of the ground, and then all the way until that foot moves under your centre of mass, so that knee needs to stay nice and straight. So, and then the other one is the foot contact with the ground. So one foot must be in contact with the ground at all times by the naked eye. So often when you'll see video, slow motion video footage, you'll see the split second moment when you're in the air. But it's one of the reasons why you see that exaggerated movement at the hips and the pelvis. That's a way of just making sure that the hips, the feet stay grounded for as long as possible, and also just to get those legs moving quick. So when we talk about the way to get quicker with race walking, you're limited by the length of your legs. So if you can't leave the ground, you can't improve that stride length. So what you need to do is actually work on that cadence. So you can see these two have great cadence, good leg speed, and they'll be up around sort of 200 to 220 steps per minute, which is faster than most people would jog. About the same sort of leg speed as you'd run in 800 metres. So imagine doing that for 10K. So that's why this is a true endurance sport, and these are true athletes.
Yeah, this is the reason it's a hill I'm more than willing to die on. It's why I still believe the 50K race walk at the Olympics is the toughest event at those Olympic Games, because it is 50 kilometres of doing that, trying to maintain that technique that you've just heard Hayden allude to. And so that means the concentration required to be able to do it, because whether you're doing it for 3K, 10K, 20K, or 50K, it's still a 3 strikes and you're out scenario.
Absolutely.
So that is a massive, massive challenge. Just from just the mental side of it, just walking 50K mentally, not having to worry about your technique and maintaining those technical points that Hayden has just pointed out. To be able to have to do that for 50K and often some quite gnarly conditions too at a Summer Olympics too. Really is a very hard sport. And there's Langley and Rusk slide past the toy.
Yeah, we just saw Alana Matthews go through 3K in 15:35. And, yeah, these walkers are true. You know, there's been a big wave, fad, of growth of the world of ultra running. But walking, long-distance walking goes way back centuries. And I was doing a little bit of research into the history of race walking, and you're going back to the mid-1700s. And it's interesting history, actually. The sport almost started with footmen racing. So, you know, your aristocrats driving along in your horse and cart, and then you'd have footmen walking next to it. So they obviously get very good at walking. And you'd have these upper-class people putting their footmen against another upper-class person's, and they'll be sitting there, you know, with their gin and tonic, sitting there with their scones saying, okay, Charlie, you go and race against Trevor over there, and you walk for 300 kilometres, and we'll see who wins. We'll put some money down. And so that's how the sport got going. It actually became a very popular, not just in terms of numbers of competitors, but spectator sport, this long-distance walking, and became this huge betting industry as well through the 1700s and 1800s. So it has a massive history and a lot of controversy through the 1800s, which is why eventually pedestrianism became the amateur sport of race walking and became part of the Olympics and what we're still doing today. So interesting to see a sport so popular, the NBA of the late 1700s, and then to sort out all the rules, sort out the sport, and then become a key part of the Olympics.
And of course, New Zealand's got that great Olympic history with regards to the race walk as well. Norman Reid, gold medalist, and then we've seen that sort of flow-on effect. And I guess in more recent times we've seen likes of Craig Barrett and Alana Barber and Quentin Roux have their moments. So as they work through now 16 laps, there's still 4K to go.
So I will put a little quiz to our viewers. So have a little think about this one. We have won as a country 2 Olympic medals in the race walks. So you mentioned one, Harry Kerr. Norman Reid.
You've just stuffed your quiz. I've stuffed the first one for you. I do apologise for that.
That's all right. So Norman Reid won the gold medal. Harry Kerr won the gold medal also in 1908. But what I want to know from our listeners is what distances those two were in. So here's a little early morning pub quiz for you. So what distances? Norman Reid in 1956 in Melbourne. Harry Kerr in 1908. They both walked different distances. What were those distances?
Good question. Sitting here thinking. Now, Hayden hasn't prepped me for any of this stuff. He has dropped it on me. This is why I thought he might have stuffed his quiz there. But no, he's held it very nicely there. Reid was definitely 50K, was he not?
Yes.
Okay, so we eliminate
we'll
this.
We'll leave half of the question open.
So let's leave that other half open there. But I'm just trying to think about the different distances that have been race walked as we continue to watch Laura and Courtney put on a very good display at the moment. They continue to come down. They'll have 15 laps as they turn into the home straight.
Yeah, coming up to 5K. For these two, or did they just go through 5K?
They've been through 5K. 16 divided by 4, 4K left? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm terrible when it comes to math.
Yeah,
I am the wrong person.
12 and a half would be 5K, so maybe we're sitting on... Oh, yeah, of course.
Through 4K.
Yeah, they've gone through 4K. So this is 4K now. Right. I'm up to play. I'm back in the game.
I'm not. It's too early, and I've only had the one coffee. But what they are doing, folks, is they are making really good time, and they are maintaining that wonderful form that you've heard Hayden allude to earlier.
So they have slowed up just a tad. So they were on track for that sub 50. They've now just slowed up a little bit. So 1951 at the 4K.
There is... Again, Alana Matthews. We just got a shot before. You saw Sarah DeToy working down the back straight, and she had a lady we haven't spoken too much about so far in our coverage of the race walk. That is Antonia Martin. Now, she is the sole entrant in the under-20 division. As I said, we have spoken about how the first 2 days was for under 18 and under 20 athletes. When it comes to the race walk, with the events that they have, they will do combined on a Thursday and then come back again on the Saturday morning, this morning. So we saw earlier in the week the 3000s and saw that for our junior and senior athletes. There's Antonia. She's our competitor doing 10K in the under 20, our sole entrant. So the walks are really one of the only events where they combine seniors, the under 18s, and the junior, the senior, the under 18 and under 20 athletes. And the events days on day 1, day 3. Langley and Rusk.
Yeah, good to see these two working together, and it is interesting how you have Laura just willing to take the pace and Courtney's happy to just tuck in behind. And I wonder if that's just Laura likes some open runway in front of her just to settle into her technique. Maybe Courtney's happy to sit in and get whatever drafting advantage she might be able to get from following in close behind. So these ladies will be going about 12k an hour. And as an example, I went to the gym this morning, Nigel, and I thought, why don't I try?
You packed a lot into your day. You've bought quiz questions,
Yeah.
You've been to the gym.
I'm on to it. So I thought I'd give 500 metres a go, see how fast I can walk 500. So go on the speed thing on the treadmill, just crank it up, and soon got to what was my capacity before being flinged off the back of the treadmill, and that was about 10.5k an hour, and I'm absolutely going for it with no judges checking my technique. So I lasted 500 metres at that speed. So these ladies are going a lot quicker than I was going and doing 10k of it. Very impressive.
So there you see our leaders. That is in the senior women's 10k race walk. It is Laura Langley of Canterbury leading her teammate Courtney Russ, the defending champion as well. We can see things getting set over by the jumping area. That's not too far away. We will step out here on Sky Sport Next. We'll bring you the conclusion of the race walk as we start to ramp up as well for the field events and the opening event of the Decathlon and Heptathlon here on day 3 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships in Hawke's Bay.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Clinicians thinks the way your body works is fascinating. Look at what happens when you breathe. Your lungs are constantly bringing in fresh air, catching oxygen to power your body and getting rid of carbon dioxide. But in winter, our lungs may need added support. So we've created Prospan Bronchial Syrup. New Zealand's #1 natural bronchial syrup. It contains a unique ivy leaf extract to soothe the throat and help clear the airways, supporting your whole family's health this winter. Clinicians, keep your body working.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams. Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Opening event of day 3 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships continues. That's Langley and Rusk 1-2 at the moment in the 10,000 metres race walk for senior women.
Coming up to 5k now, so you can see them going wide just to collect some fluids, and rightly so, because that sun is beating down. There's zero wind to cool them off, and they're going to go through 5k in, 25:07. So just a slight slowing up after that early quick start, going through 2k in 9:44, just settling settling beyond that 5-minute Ks for now.
Okay, your trivia question, Hayden Sherman, that you asked prior to going to the break. Can I ask a couple of questions relating to the questions?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking Jack Kurt 1908.
1908. So London, the London Olympics, first ever London Olympics.
The distance you refer to, is it the imperial or metric? So is it miles or yards, or is it meters, kilometres?
A good question, or is it something very ancient like leagues?
Yeah, something like that. Can you just clarify that?
So it is in meters.
It is meters.
It's a shorter distance. So we'll put that out there. So we've got Norman Reed with the 50K.
We got that. So is it then? So you talk about it being a shorter distance, but is it if it's converted to metric, is it an odd sounding distance? Like, is it like, say 2 mile converted over, which would be 3.2K or something like that?
Yeah. So
is it similar to that?
No. So it has no logical, I can't see any reason why you would do this unless you had a 500-metre track. So that's a little clue.
Okay.
But I know of no other race on the track that run or walked at this distance. So.
Okay. So I'm sure there might be a few people sitting there knowing it, or they may have Googled it. I didn't have that opportunity during that short break as we continue to watch Alana, who's got a really comfortable lead at the moment in the under 18 women's race walk. She's actually over 5,000 metres, so she's actually not too far away. She might actually be coming down to get the bell. Yep, we are seeing that. So we come back. So if it was a 500-metre track, okay, I'm going to stab in the dark, and I'm going to say it was something like 2.5K.
You're pretty close. You're pretty close. So
pretty close.
So if you had
that's a really nice way of saying wrong.
But no, it's wrong, but you're pretty close.
Okay.
So if you have just joined the coverage, what we're looking at is New Zealand's won 2 Olympic medals in the race walks, and what distance were those medals? So we had 50K for Norman Reed in 1956. Harry Kerr, who was actually representing Australasia, which is interesting back in those days, was our first ever Olympic medalist, and it was 3.5K.
3.5K.
3,500. Very strange distance. And so that was the London Olympics. And that Olympics was actually quite famous for setting the marathon distance. So that race was, I think it was run from like the Windsor Palace to, the White City Stadium in sort of northwest London there. And they were supposed to run about 40K something. It turned out to be 42K, and then they added on an extra 195 metres in order to finish right where the royal box was. So that's why today, when you line up to run a marathon or walk a marathon, it's 42.195 metres, because the royal box happened to be at another 195 metres on. So blame the Royals for that one.
That's a great bit of insight. Great bit of insight. We're watching there on your screen Alana Matthews. She is in the final 200 metres now of her 5,000 metres under 18 race walk. She's got a good advantage. She's a lap up on her competitor, Sarah DeToy, and Sarah's actually maintained a really good pace throughout her race walk too. And when you think about some of these numbers that you're hearing, we're talking sub 5-minute kilometres that are being done by these athletes, or in and around. You heard Hayden point out that Courtney and Laura, before going through the 5Ks in just under 25 minutes. You think about maybe your own might be a bit of a weekend warrior, a bit of a battler. You think about some of your own running times. If you're someone who likes to put, my run sort of going, that's pretty quick. That is moving. I've said this on our coverage on Thursday as well. I was fortunate enough to live in a suburb at one point that Craig Barrett used as a training area. Here she comes, Alana Matthews. Down to the line, just under 30 minutes as well.
Yes.
29 minutes 45 or thereabouts for Alana.
Solid work there from Alana. So, like you say, my background is in running coaching. I coach a lot of everyday Joes in their running. And one of the big goals for a lot of adult runners is to crack 30 minutes for the 5K running. And so to walk that, she's done brilliantly to get through. And so that was the pace that I was barely hanging on to the treadmill for this morning for 500 metres. So very impressive.
Yeah, just a great illustration of just the talent, the capacity, the athleticism of these ladies that we are seeing on the track this morning. And Langley continues to lead Rusk. As I said, it was interesting. Here comes Alana Matthews. She's got still 2 more circuits to go. So 800 metres left for Sarah, who'll come through and claim the silver medal in the under-18 race walk.
And some welcome high cloud as well, just coming in, providing a little bit of shade for these athletes who will be heating up a lot. We saw these two go wide and collect some drinks, but from the start, it's like we're replaying the footage from right from when the gun went off. They settled into their spots with Courtney just tucked in behind Laura.
So they've got 4K. At what point would you expect Courtney maybe to look to make her move? As I said, we saw her sort of jump on a warning, the paddles, and we'll talk a little bit more to that there. On Thursday, an umpire stepped out and showed one of the paddles. I think it was a technique paddle that to Laura, and right on top of that there, Courtney went bang, just went past her, just took that momentary opportunity, and really then started to push away. And I'm just thinking with 4 kilometres to go, 10 more laps to go when they come down here. Just wondering at what point Courtney might decide if she does want to up it a little bit, and maybe push for a time whether she decides to flick that switch. There is Antonia Martin, the under-20 athlete in this particular event. And just finding her own nice little rhythm. Yes, she turns around and works her way down the back straight. Sorry, Hayden.
These two have gone through 6K rather, so they've got about 3 and a bit K to go. And like you say, it becomes tactical in terms of those red flags. So you get three red flags from 3 different judges. Need to question your technique. And, if you're on 1 red flag or if you're on 2 red flags, it's going to make a difference to that athlete who has got a clean slate in front of them in terms of how far they're going to push it. And one of the big challenges in the later stages of a race is paying attention to that technique and making sure your knee's not bent and you're staying on the ground.
Well, we haven't actually seen, or I haven't seen any in our coverage as we've been sort of flitting in around between our different athletes across the different age grades. Haven't seen any of the paddles be brandished thus far at either of these ladies. Now, it is slightly different with the track race walk, because if you do get 3 warnings, there is a penalty box that you slide into, and then you will serve a time penalty in there. Then you can come back out on track. However, if you were to then incur another penalty, you would be DQ'd out of the race. So there is just a slight kink when it comes to the track race walking. You might just see it as we come down as we're looking down the back straight. We might be able to show that to you on the front straight, a wee coned off yellow area. But at the moment, there you see our leaders both looking pretty comfortable at the moment, as they are well over halfway of the 10,000 metres senior women's race walk. And there you see some of our senior men's triple jumpers. They're not too far away. They're set to get underway in around about 6 minutes' time. There goes Martin going through. Confirmation of the time for Alana Matthews, 29 minutes 43.59. There is Sarah DeToy on your screen. Here comes Antonia Martin. And there's our senior athletes. The 4 remaining athletes on the field. As you see, just as we pan wide, you might just see, just down in front, there will be there you see it right there, the bottom of your screen, that there is the penalty box. So if any of those athletes that you see on the track at the moment were to infringe in terms of either their technique or the contact, as you heard Hayden allude to earlier, if they got 3 of them, they wouldn't be eliminated fully, but they would have to serve time in that penalty box. And if they were to infringe again, then they would be removed from the track.
And one of the great things about the system is not only do you have the red paddles, but you've got the yellow paddles being the warnings. So they have 2 little diagrams on them. One the angle, and that's just to represent the bent knee.
The greater than sign, greater than or less than sign, depending which way you look at it. Yeah.
And then you've got the wiggle, which is you've spent too much time off the ground. You're leaving the ground. So those warnings can be very useful as well, just to check your technique, and particular for the junior grades. You don't get that much opportunity to come and race against all the best race walkers in the country, so it's good to have that warning system going just to make sure you're staying on track.
And we do have to stress as well again, it is done by sight only, and I know it's one of the big things, particularly in recent times. Here comes Laura going. She wants a little bit more fluid. There's Sarah DeToy. Down to, I think she's got her. She's coming down to complete her 5,000 metres. Although she may have to have a little bit, because she has been sent over to the penalty box. She's only got about 75 metres to go.
Yeah, that's brutal. We've seen this multiple times before, particularly in women's race walking. In the Sydney Olympics, of course, we had the Australian girl go into the stadium in the lead and not appear because she was DQ'd under the stadium. And then in the 2017 World Champs, we actually had our leader on the home straight like this be DQ'd just metres from the line.
So she's going to pop out now, Sarah DeToy. And she's going to complete. I'm reasonably sure that it was only 70-odd metres that she had to go, coming down to claim silver medal in the women's under-18 5,000-metre race walkers. Sarah DeToy, she's done, as our two athletes in the 10,000-metre senior walk continue. Well done, Sarah.
Just less than 3K now for these the two Cantabs on screen. So they're getting to the business end of this race walk.
You mentioned Jane Saville and that particular incident. I can highly recommend a wonderful piece of journalism done. I think it was the Sydney Morning Herald. They tracked down the judge, who was the person who actually had to show the paddle. That wasn't a Kiwi. I think he was actually an Italian.
Right.
And they tracked him down, and they spoke to him, as you see confirmation there of the results of the under-18 race walk. They tracked him down and they spoke to him. And if you get the opportunity, it's just really good journalism. It's not even just good sports journalism. It's just quality journalism, the way they tell that story and weave it all together. And it's absolutely brilliant to have a read of it. So if you do have that opportunity, get on the old search engine, have a look for it. Really good piece of writing and storytelling with regards to that particular situation. He felt bad, but he said, people didn't. He was expecting to be public enemy number one, but it was very little ill will towards him, despite obviously the very high emotions that was coursing through Jane. And you saw that, if you remember this incident from the 2000 Olympic Games, the emotion on her face, the anguish of the crowd, the fact that she just didn't emerge out for her, what would have been a real swag for her.
Absolutely heartbreaking for an athlete, but that is the rules of the game, and we see it in the sprints. If you have a false start, you're gone skis, and it doesn't matter if you Usain Bolt or Joe Bloggs from wherever in the world. It's the same rules, and look, with the race walk, at least it's not just one judge. It has to be 3 judges that withdraw you, so it's not all on his shoulders. But
6 laps to go here. They go through there with 39 minutes on the clock. Just wondering, Courtney just seems to be, even though they've been sort of walking very close, just kind of get the sense that Courtney might be sort of amping up here to maybe make a little bit of a move on Laura.
Yeah, if any of them, Courtney probably expresses the pain a little bit more on her face, whereas Laura's a bit more relaxed. But you do wonder just that ability to tuck in and let Laura do the pacemaking, whether Courtney's just got a little bit more left in the tank.
Well, it's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that one. Of course, Courtney, 27, slightly older than Laura, who is 24. Laura's best performance, though, it is a 49-minute, 35-second effort. So she actually does have a time which is a bit quicker than Courtney. As we head over now, this is the men's triple jump. And that is underway.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how this one unfolds. Scott Thompson's been the form athlete all summer long. He's won all the major meets in the triple jump, the reigning national champion at this ground last year. He jumped 14.65. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. They've got perfect jumping conditions, just very little wind, nice warm sunshine.
Yeah, very gentle. In fact, I'm just looking to try and find the old wind direction sock, the yellow and black squids. Can't see them at all. Probably don't need them. I mean, it's just flawless. It's just absolutely beautiful in terms of the wind conditions. Here they come, Laura and Courtney. As I say, Laura just the younger of the two at 24 years of age. Here is Jamie Coons of Wellington. That's his first effort. White flag goes up. So as you say, we saw the field. Here he goes up. Good look at it head on. Goes through the three movements. And he'll get that one on the board, and that's always a good thing. It was a red flag for Charles Devlin. You see 5 laps to go. Courtney still very comfortable at the moment. So too Laura. Jamie Coons 11.89 with his first jump. So Jamie Coons is on the board in the senior men's triple jump. Appreciate the sponsorship of Hawke's Bay Orthodontics for that particular event. Also coming up a bit later on this morning too, the men's hammer throw. Again, it's only the two athletes there, but it does feature Anthony Novello, who's been in good throwing form. Here comes the man out of Auckland, 3 Aucklanders, the third of them, that's Edwin Kwok Ying Lung. Again, he turns around to see the red flag. Competitor from Waikato Bay of Plenty, that's Kurt Sweeney. Antonia Martin being passed by Laura and Courtney. But again, just not fussed, maintaining. So he's starting to breathe a little bit heavier as Antonia.
Yeah, one of the things to watch with the race walking, I'm told, at this stage in the race, you often see those shoulders just start to lift. And that can be a sign that the form's getting a bit sloppy and there's a bit more of that vertical oscillation.
Here's Kurt Sweeney. Extension through there.
Nice rhythm there from Kurt.
White flag, so they'll bust out the tape measure.
So we're inside 2K now in the race walk. As we see Kurt front on, we can see that rhythm that I was talking about. And this is one of the things that you're aiming for in the triple jump, is just that nice, consistent phasing between each of the phases of the triple jump. So you don't want to overemphasize one, but just maintenance of momentum is what we're after.
There you go, 12.52 for Kurt Sweeney. Next up it'll be Scott Thompson, whose form has been very good. His PB is 15.22 for Scott, as again we watch Laura and Courtney. Here he is.
Brilliant.
That's a good start. Hey.
See those
Wow,
long
the red flag
limbs.
again.
Those long limbs that he's got just chewing up the turf, and wonderful to see him in full flight there, but collects the red flag.
Scott won this title last year. His sister won the women's senior title.
So, but yeah, both Scott and Anna have just been on a tear the last 2 seasons. I don't think Anna's been beaten for the last 2 seasons. She's just unstoppable at the moment. Kayla Goodwin's the other great proponent of triple jumping that we've got at the moment, but she is overseas. She's probably watching now on a scholarship in the States. So greetings, Kayla. Hope you're keeping well. But at the moment, it's just all the Thompsons taking care of the triple jump.
It's quite a significant PB he's got as well, as I say, 15.22. When you look at the likes of a Charles Devlin, he's got a PB 13.8. Striding forward, he did set that at the Cooks Classic, which was late January. So coming down. 3 laps to go. They walk through 45, just under 46 minutes gone, so you kind of sense it's been very tactical. They're going to be well off their personal bests. This is a fascinating wee battle between these two. Laura's just continued to really just quite happy to sit in front. Courtney more than happy just to take the trail, try and match pace. At one point, you see Courtney trying up the tempo. So they come down.
Yeah, we'll have 1K to go once they reach the end of this straight. So this format, we've just had Laura in the front, Courtney at the back, as we see Jamie Coons have his second attempt, but just running through that. So he's the under-20 champ from last year. So moving up into the senior ranks this year. And here we go, 1K to go at 46.52, so they won't crack 50 minutes, but it could well be a personal best for Courtney Rusk. So certainly they're both performing well.
So they come around that top straight inside the final kilometre. Both looking still very comfortable, as Hayden's alluded to. Sort of Courtney, it looks like it's a bit of a pained expression, but it really hasn't changed from the gun. Likewise with Laura.
Bit more of a poker face.
Well, they come down and have a look.
Here's Edwin.
Extension, red flag though again.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those. The actual jump looked pretty good though. I think he'll take a bit of confidence from that one.
Just needs to take the
run up.
Just needs to take the marker back a smidge maybe. But it's another no jump for Edwin Kwok Ying Lung out of Auckland. The 3 Aucklanders, Thompson, Ying Lung and Devlin. Coons from Wellington. And
2 laps to go.
Bay of Plenty athlete and Kurt Sweeney. Well,
still no change in this race walking competition. It's been intriguing how they've just locked in. They'll do a lot of training together, obviously both from Canterbury, and so they're probably used to this sort of format, but who's got that change of pace? Who can wind it back to those sort of sub 5 minute Ks that they were doing at the start?
Sweeney. White flag, so this one will be measured. So Kurt Sweeney's actually got a couple of counters in now. They're halfway down that back straight. You'll see our athletes for the triple jump in behind. Scott Thompson, you just saw wandering up to prepare for his second attempt. This is interesting. This is a fascinating wee battle.
And it's interesting, the side-on shot is really great because you get to see the difference in the leg length and what effect is that going to have. I mentioned before the equation of how you get faster in the race walk. It's a combination of leg length times stride rate. And so if your stride length is maxed out, the only go-to is to increase your cadence. So Courtney has that advantage of just a slightly longer stride length, and so will that make the difference in these final 500 metres?
Having a look as well. There is Scott.
Does he get the white flag?
Yes, he does.
Yes. So he's on the board.
I was just looking down the home straight. There was an umpire who was poised, and I was wondering if he was going to wander out, but he hasn't. So Courtney Rusk is the defending champion. Laura Langley has been the silver medalist the last, 2019 and 2020. Trying to go one better. what point can Courtney sort of up the tempo a little bit? This is what we've seen pretty much for the entirety of the race to this point. Langley in front, Rusk happy to just sit in.
You can see that expression
Yeah,
from Courtney in the back, just the eyebrows furrowing a little, and look, it looks like a real intentional increase of that cadence from Laura up the front. Just you can see those arms really working.
Here we go. Here's the move.
So a big increase in that stride rate, and like I said, that just that length of stride, but she needs to be careful here because the judges will be paying very close attention. So that change of pace at the moment is going to to Courtney.
It'll be interesting to see because, as we say, it's all done on of visual, so it's not like a replay. It's the judges need to make that particular call. The other thing too is if you've been clean throughout the first, 9.6 kilometres of the race, I suppose you could talk about technically you can sort of afford to risk maybe getting seen, because if you're only going to get one paddle and you've only got 100 metres to go, which is the case for Courtney.
Yeah,
well, look at
really the expression
comfortable
on her face. She's really emptying the tank now, and look at that gap she's opened up. You can't see it on your screens, but it's about 30 metres now. Incredible change of pace.
So Courtney Rusk, she has just played the patience game. She's going to come down time around 52 minutes, and she will claim another national title in the senior 10,000 metre race walk. And you can see, you heard Hayden say she's emptied the tack. Here comes Laura Langley. It's going to be another silver medal for Laura. A lot of really good work. They come over and they have a look. Of course, teammates,
you can see,
training partners.
Yeah, Courtney just clapping her home. She's like, I couldn't go with you. I was gone. I hope Courtney's going to shout some coffees later this morning because that was a lot of hard work, spending 24 and a half laps in the lead, and then to see her teammate waltz on past and take the medal. But great racing there from our women in the senior women's 10,000 metre race walk.
Still got a few laps for Antonia Martin, who's in the under 20, our sole entrant. So she's still got 3 laps to go. The men's triple jump is underway. There is Edwin Kwok-Shin-Glung out of one of the 3 Aucklanders involved. White flag, so this one they can measure. So 3 laps to go for Antonia Martin. Here's the replay. Edwin, straight ahead, big extension.
Yeah, when we talked earlier about the decathlon or the heptathlon being the ultimate athlete, I really have so much admiration for the triple jumpers. The athleticism of those 3 phases of the triple jump is truly incredible. And you talk about being strong in the gym, doing something like squats or deadlifts. That's strength. But what these triple jumpers have is true plyometric strength. So as opposed to sort of muscular strength, they've got the best tendons on the planet, that ability to just spring through each phase of the triple jump. So amazing athletes, as we see here. The final remaining competitor collecting some fluids in the race walk, and you can see it's a tough day at the office, 25 laps.
Here's Scott Thompson. Good extension. Red flag, though. That's another one for Scott.
He's had a couple. Now, have we got a mark coming through from Scott at all?
Well, that's the thing. Well, no, because he hasn't laid down a mark. That's his 3rd jump with a red flag. So nothing for Scott as of yet. There's Antonia. She'll come down. She'll have 2 more laps to go as a wee check of the watch. Just by the way, confirming the times for Courtney Rusk and Laura Langley. Courtney, 52 minutes, 1.69 seconds, and Laura Langley, 52 minutes, 18.47. You see that. Sadly, Corinne Smith of Whangarei not competing today. Put in a really nice effort to win bronze in the 3,000 on Thursday. The athlete out of Whangarei.
Now coming up also in the field, we've got the men's triple jump happening at the moment, but at 10:30 we've got the men's hammer throw with Anthony Novello headlining that one, and then at 10:35 will be the women's high jump, and that's going to be an exciting competition with Kylia Higgins really on form this season and just dominating that women's high jump. So that will be coming up at 10:30, and then of course we are going to see this hour the opening up of the men's decathlon, which I am very excited about. We've got a great field, so we'll be running through that start list in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
So we've got plenty of great action for you here as Antonia just continues to work her way through towards the end. She's starting to battle a wee bit.
Was that just saying something to a coach or an official, or maybe giving herself a little pep talk, because this is the painful stage of the 10K. And, you know, I mentioned before about 5K, that for a lot of everyday people, cracking 30 minutes is a real big achievement. Even more of an achievement is cracking the hour mark for the 10K. So she is on track at the moment for going under the hour. And that's in the walk.
So as she comes down, she will have 600 metres to go. There's the 200 metre mark.
Well, it might be touch and go actually for the hour. She's checking the watch, and maybe that's exactly what she's thinking. I want to get under 60.
Well, her PB, 1 hour, 1 minute. So 61 seconds. Yeah. 61.01 seconds as we go back and see Jamie Coons over there at the men's triple jump. So having been an age group champion, now up in the senior ranks. And again, just
not getting that run up right. They've got no wind to to refer to here. There's very limited excuses for getting that run up wrong, aside from just the sheer nature of adrenaline rushing through the body when you arrive at the national champs, the thing you've been training all year for. As we see the bell, finally, the welcome sound of the bell. 400 metres to walk. She's got to do it in less than, what will it be, 140, I would say, once she reaches the start-finish line.
You see Kurt Sweeney. Also just being informed that the men's 400 metres, we know heats this morning. We are heading straight to a final in that particular event. So we won't need any heats. It's been an odd withdrawal, so straight to a final, which takes place this afternoon at 3:15. So here is Antonia. Very much been walking on her own. She is the only athlete in the under-20s, but started alongside Courtney and Laura. So next year we'll probably see her in the same event with Courtney and Laura and Corin.
You can see the effort she's putting out there. Really working hard, trying to will the body on. 250 metres to walk, and she'll need to do that in 40 seconds, which I think is going to be too much to ask for this young lady to dip under 60 minutes, but I think the PB's definitely on.
Well, yep, the PB, as I said, 61 minutes, so 1 hour, 1 minute and 1 second. And she looks down and she'll know.
200 metres. Got to do it in less than 1 minute 20. It's definitely doable.
Antonia, she's won titles in 2020 and 2021 at this level. She's won 7 national age group race walking title golds. So there they clock over 60. So as long as she can navigate this final 100 metres, 50 seconds, the personal best will be lowered.
That welcome sight of the finish line just ahead of her. She'll definitely claim her personal best. So it's a great performance from our sole competitor in the women's under 20 10,000 metres. She's going to claim the national title and a PB.
Yeah, she just upped the tempo a little bit there with around 75 metres to go. Finishing it strong, pained look on her face. And she takes 21 seconds off that PB. Well done. I think she steps to the side. She has, as they say, emptied the tank. A wee nod of, are you okay? It was like a, yep, she's done very well there. So that is your under 20 winner. Just a reminder, folks, if you think race walking is a joke, you really need to get that thought out of your head, because it ain't. That is 10 kilometres, maintaining technique and the concentration for that technique as well.
Here's Scott Thompson getting those big limbs going. And the question will be, will he get a white flag? Oh.
I'll tell you what, our official likes adding to the drama. But that's another.
So that's round 4. And to our knowledge, he's got no mark yet on the board. So just, is he having a little chat to his coach? Just trying to work out what's going on.
Just getting some update. We saw a distance for Edwin Kwok Long of around 13 metres. Just sort of working their way through. Over at the triple jump, there's Jamie Coons. Just the 5 competitors, so they're rifling through pretty quick over there in the senior men's triple jump. Hammer throw. They're warming up. Oy vey. Are they warming up too, by the way?
Jamie, again, running through it. So a few of our athletes in the triple jump just having a few nerves or struggling to get things dialed in this morning. It is early to be jumping and testing out those tendons that I was talking about. Don't know if I'd like to be doing a triple jump at 10 in the morning. But look, these guys have had all year to prep for this one, and yeah, a few little things to work out, a few dials to be tweaked. And here we go. Here is the first event of the men's decathlon. 10 events over 2 days. This is the 100 metres. We start with a track event. We finish with a track event for each of the days. And this is the 100 metres. We get straight into it.
You know, I can tell you right now, we're about to get busy, real busy. Because in addition to the decathlon on the track, we're going to have the conclusion of the triple jump. We've got high jumpers warming up. We've got our 2 competitors in the senior men's hammer. And I've just seen in warm-up Anthony Novello launch one in and around that 60-metre mark. And now Edwin with a misfire.
It's catching. What's in the water down there?
Oh, it's just very odd.
It is, and to have beautiful conditions. I mean, in the sun, it's nice and toasty. We were talking before about it being too hot. We're lathering on the sunscreen. We're in nice shade now. So you're warm. There's no breeze. It's Nationals weekend. Everything should be coming together, but we're just seeing a few little pieces of the puzzle go missing as we see our boys in the decathlon. These guys are going to be working together very closely over the next 2 days. They'll form friendships that will last a lifetime. It's a real beautiful camaraderie between the multi-eventers, and they're going to be opening up on the 100 metres. So we can go through that start list shortly, if you like, Nigel, and talk about who are the names to watch.
I'm just keeping an eye on this triple jump and just trying to figure out what's going on over there. I'm looking for a windsock as we see them there. Good representation out of Auckland in the decathlon. There you go. There's your list right there. Names to keep an eye out for. The man wearing 121, Aaron Booth, World University Games gold medalist. Matthew Walcamp as well will be a man to keep him more than honest. Brett Newdick is listed as competing as well. We'll just see, have we got Brett? Just trying to see if Brett Newdick is involved. Obviously, the times there have been sort of withdrawals, and here comes Charles Devlin. We've got a distance for Charles at 13.51.
See the little adjustment of Scott Thompson's run-up, so hopefully that will do the trick. That's that small movement in the marker. Now, we've been told we've only got 8 athletes in the decathlon. As we see, Scott, can he hit that board correctly? It looked pretty good to my eye.
He looked well behind.
He had a quick look back to the official. There it is. Waiting all day for that white flag, the magic white flag.
Well, I think you'll find if we get a wee look at it, I think you'll find his feet will be well. Oh, no, not too bad.
I think he towed
Reasonable
the board.
on. Still on the board. I was wondering if he'd take it, really just take it back and make sure he was like a half step back fully.
We saw him move his marker probably 10 or 15 centimetres, so that obviously did the trick. Got him out of the plasticine onto the board, and he will have a score coming through shortly. So it looks at the moment, is it just Charles Devlin who has one mark and then no one else? Or are we not getting all the results?
Charles Devlin has got a mark down. Edward Cocking-Lung has got a mark down as well. So too has Kurt Sweeney. So the one who was really battling, it was the misses were coming from Scott. So
the main man, the reigning national champ.
You would suspect that jump that he's just put down probably would see him elevate. At the moment, we had Devlin in second spot with a jump of 13 metres 51 centimetres. There's Jamie Coons just waiting as he gets himself set. So we've got senior women's high jump not too far away.
Here he is, Jamie Kearns, under 20 champ now in the seniors, and he will roll through that one as well.
So that distance for Scott was 13 metres 85 centimetres. Here we see our athletes. The decathlon really is a great event. 10 disciplines over 2 days, and it's just neat to have them as part of the national championships. As we're looking there has been a couple of scratchings from the decathlon, and we believe that Brett Newdick is one of them, which is a shame. It'd be nice to have seen Brett competing against some of these youngers, newer decathletes. So as they work through there is Edwin Cocking-Lung of Auckland. Head down, trying to get up to speed. Nice movements through. The white flag comes up a little bit sharper this time. So Scott Thompson, 13.85, and that currently has Scott in front. It's well off his PB, which is over 15. Wait for Edwin's marker to come through. So the field for the decathlon, I say a raft of Aucklanders. There's of the 8, there's an Auckland quintet, a Canterbury athlete, one from Manawatu Wanganui, and a local in Hawke's Bay Gisborne, Joshua Woodhead. We see 13 metres 51, 13.51 for Edwin. So we've got the senior women's high jump, which is not too far away from getting underway too. There's our decathletes. There you are. You have our athletes getting their warm-ups. Alexandra Hyland, Keely O'Hagan, Josephine Reeves and Imogen Skelton. 2 Cantabrians, 2 Aucklanders. The hammer, that's not far away. Again, just the 2 athletes in that one there. Anthony Novello and Mike Scolton of Otago, Anthony out of Auckland, and Anthony had a really good, just a warm-up throw. Just it seemed like a loosener, and he was tapping in around 60. So here is Scott Thompson. Just was trying to get a few people to give him a bit of a rhythm there. Now he steps off a bit of a.
Needed some more raking, I think, so that you need a nice smooth surface to land on, right?
Good smile, the cone in place. Now they will clear the runway. Around about the time we're not too far off the start of the 100 metres as well for the decathlon. The 100 metres get into the mark. Starting blocks as well. Scott Thompson trying to get himself set for the jump. It's going to be a bit of a race here as to what goes first, Thompson or the Hundy. Thompson on the runway. Good extension through. Cuts back, nice timing. Hyatt in lane one, Henry, Phillips, Walcamp, Fee, Turiura, Booth and Woodhead, but there you see the class of Aaron Booth. That is your University Games gold medal winning decathlete. And Aaron comes through. Here he is, 2-1-2.
Jack Henry from Canterbury looking strong as well, but yeah, it was Aaron Booth just closer to the grandstand.
11.03.
Oh, very solid. So that's a wonderful start from Aaron. So that's going to be good points to get him going. That's up around his best in terms of within a decathlon. So yeah, look at him just pulling away. Jack Henry coming through for second.
Now, I'm not trying to get too excited. Just pointing out. That was just into a negative 0.5 headwind, which is very negligible. So as we look ahead, whilst all these times, and these times are really good, everyone in the moment in the 11-second range. So we get down to Nick Fee, who's still 11.9. Just Josh Woodhead to go. Actually, all of our competitors going sub 12 seconds for the 100 there. So that's a really good start. So it was Booth, Henry, Phillips, Walcamp, Wyatt, Teodora, Fee and Woodhead in that particular order. Of course, they will get points allocated based on their time, but the 8 competitors are underway in the men's decathlon, and just great to have them involved. Well, things are about to get real busy, so we're just going to step out for a moment here as our coverage of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022 continues after this on Sky Sport Next.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams. Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
The Hits Live Free is back. Listen out for the key songs weekdays on the Hits. Hear it, call, and go in the draw to win one of 5 keys that could unlock the Hits Live Free safe. 1 year, no rent, no mortgage. The Hits.
Clinicians thinks the way your body works is fascinating. Look at what happens when you breathe. Your lungs are constantly bringing in fresh air, catching oxygen to power your body and getting rid of carbon dioxide. But in winter, our lungs may need added support. So we've created Prospan Bronchial Syrup. New Zealand's #1 natural bronchial syrup, it contains a unique ivy leaf extract to soothe the throat and help clear the airways, supporting your whole family's health this winter. Clinicians, keep your body working.
Welcome back to our coverage. Day 3 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. The opening 2 days were for the under-18 and under-20 athletes. The seniors have come out to play and already seen some very good performances. We saw just before Aaron Booth running 11.03 with just a half metre per second headwind. That 11.03, by the way, good enough for 854 points in the decathlon. Of course, it's a points accumulation. There's the senior men's hammer throw starting list. Just the 2 athletes. It's Anthony Novello and Mike Skolton. I was fascinated to watch Anthony Novello in warm-up, and he got a couple out of the cage with good distance. So Anthony will be looking, I'm sure, at really wanting to challenge. He's got a PB. Memory serves, it's around 66. Also not too far away from our sprinters. In action, we've got the heptathletes. Sprinters not too far away.
Yeah, these are the 100-metre heats. So this is exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Woman on screen there in the blue of Auckland, Zoe Hobbs, who, I mean, she's doing it almost on a weekly basis. It's certainly on a monthly basis. She's got a monthly date with breaking the New Zealand 100-metre record, and she hasn't done it yet in March. So, look, let's see how this goes, because it's perfect sprinting conditions.
But she has equalled it. Remember, we were here last year. She equalled that record of Michelle Seymour's with the 11.32.
And she loves this track. So she has broken the New Zealand record here back in January at the Potts Classic. As we just saw Aaron Booth, he ran very close to a lifetime PB in the 100 metres, just 0.1 of a second outside of his best all-time, let alone in a decathlon. So the track is good for sprinting today.
So there you see heat number 1. Jade Henley-Smith, Tasman Harvey, Rosie Elliott, Livy Wilson and Helena Dennison. Rosie Elliott. Now we got confirmation. Is Rosie going to try and do the 124, the 100, so. 200, 400?
That would be amazing. We saw her run that just blazing 400 2 weeks ago at the Sir Graham Douglas meet in Auckland, and she is looking good in the 200 as well. And I think she was second in the 100 behind Zoe in that meet. So she is in good shape. The other woman in good shape in this heat is Livy Wilson. She's ranked number 2 coming into this meet in New Zealand this year for the 100 with a PB of 11.60. So she's a fast starter, so expect Livy to get out quick, and then the others, the likes of Rosie, using that 200, 400 strength to pull her down. It's weird calling her a 400 runner now, but she's a versatile athlete. She's proved that.
Well, it'll be interesting because Livy, we spoke obviously a lot about that record that Zoe set at the Hawke's Bay Gisborne Championships, but that PB you just alluded to for Livy, that was also in that very same race. So we know the track is fast. Conditions at the moment, there is no breeze. The breeze that we did have registered before was just a very slight negative, so a very minor headwind. So there you see your athletes. Jade Henley-Smith is in lane number 2. Tasman Harvey of Otago, lane 3. Then Rosie Elliott in lane number 4. Livy Wilson, lane number 5. Helena Dennison is in lane number 6. And also a very good exponent in the jumping side of things. All of them just almost dead still, bar the legs just moving there of Jade Henley-Smith. There is Rosie Elliott.
So first heat of 2. Well, and these are, remember, not timed finals. These are prelims, so we will have a final still to come.
So just first 3 plus the 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. So you'd expect lanes 4 and 5. Good start, even start. Nice work by Wilson, who gets out. So too Elliott. They are just striding away. They've got it quite comfortably. Elliott, she wants the win. She comes through. Whee, that was moving.
That was
moving.
You could see Anna, once she got up to speed, she wasn't afraid to hold that top speed all the way through to the line. Just give her that confidence to go into what will be a big couple of days for her. But she looked good. She looked really good. She'll be happy to, you can see was that Tian in the background giving the double thumbs up. But as you say, Livy got that good start. So everyone pretty even reaction times. But you see those first 3 steps of Livy just gives her an edge over Rosie. And then she just pulls away using that good top end speed that she's got and that speed endurance just over the last 20 metres. So looking good there from Rosie.
Just need someone just to stop the clock, because it runs continuously, and then when they stop it, the times are calculated. I'm just really interested to see what Rosie Elliott did for a time there, because she went over the line. It seemed very, very close to around, or somewhere in that frame of sort of mid to late 11s.
There we go.
There's a PB. She's run a PB. It's 11.57. The PB was 11.60. So she's taken another 300ths off her PB, and that's with a very minor wind behind her.
Well, that's exciting.
Livy Wilson?
Yeah, wonderful.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. No, have I got that wrong?
Yeah, I was just going.
No, I was looking at
PB.
Livy. Livy was actually point 2 out. I'm pretty sure that is a PB though for Rosie Elliott. Excuse me.
You could be right. Let me just double check.
Get the computers there. Sorry, I was looking at Livy Wilson's number for some reason. Do apologise for that particular mistake. But Elliott, Wilson, and Harvey through automatically. 12.63 for Dennison. That's going to be the number for the athletes in this next heat, who will need to try and better. So you see Charlotte Holland, Canterbury in lane number 2, but there she is, the queen of the sprints, Zoe Hobbs, 169, Anna Piercy, Celia Ward, Brooke Summerfield, Hannah Maloney. So we work to the outside lane where we see the Cantabrian Maloney.
So that was a PB from Rosie. So her best before was 11.66. So she's, what was it, 0.1 of a second? Was it 11.56?
11.57. All eyes lane 3. Zoe Hobbs. And really good start as well. And straight away she gets up. She's on the toe. She gone. Good chase coming here from Percy and also Summerfield as well. Down to the line. Easing to the line with Zoe Hobbs. You suspect there might be a little bit more there.
Looking calm and collected and very cool is Zoe Hobbs. Wonderful run from her. So strong out of the blocks. I really love that phase from about 20 to 40 metres.
Just a nice little 11.44
there we go.
Into a negative headwind. Not a big one, but I'll let you talk through this replay. But just
so she's been working on her start a lot this year, getting that power, getting those legs going nice and fast, getting her up to speed. But she gets up to top speed over those sort of first third, that 20 to 40 metres, and then, as you say, just happy to get up there and then just roll through those last few metres. She'll have a big weekend ahead, so preserving some matches with the nice cruisy 11.44.
And the top 5 in this heat, if I've done my maths correctly, which we already have seen is very questionable at the best of times, but fourth place in the previous heat was 12.63. So Zoe Hobbs, Anna Piercy and Brooke Summerfield qualify automatically. But Helen Maloney and Celia Ward running underneath the time of 12.63 for Helena Dennison. Those top 5 should be in that final this afternoon, as we see Anthony Novello walking into the hammer cage.
Yep, every summer Anthony makes a date here at the National Champs to come and reclaim his national title, and he's been getting better and better as well. He's up into those mid-60s. 66.44 is his best this year. Last year he set a PB of 66.58. You see that great technique, great speed, hiffing that hammer way out into the mid-60s.
What did you say his PB was?
Well, 66.58. He's gone very close to that.
That's a great start. It's, wow, sort of, we're looking, I'd say that's at least sort of 64, 65. Really good start from Anthony Novello.
So that 7.26 kg hammer looks very small in the hands of the strong man. Great control, great speed.
Beautiful speed and balance across the circle. And he done rip that. That's a pearler.
Very impressive from Anthony Novello, opening up and in great conditions, nice and warm. You can see these field athletes aren't running to put on a jacket or wrap a blanket around them like we often see around New Zealand when the weather turns to custard. But we've got beautiful late summer conditions here for athletics, and Anthony making the most of it early on.
So they're underway in the women's high jump as well. So it is just the two competitors. Mike Scolton out of Otago. So there's the other competitor in the hammer. Trying to get that distance. There we go. 66.71.
Wow.
Have some, Hayden Chairman.
That's a new personal best. Up he goes. Well, that's the way to start your morning. New personal best. You called it with the naked eye. So let's. Who needs a measuring tape? Let's use Nigel Yeldon.
I think we've already proven that my maths is pretty average. But goodness gracious me, well done you, Anthony Novello.
That's impressive. So personal best to kick off his day. Puts the belt on. He means business. There might only be two competitors in the competition today, but he is already lighting it up in the hammer. And, of course, we've got the women's hammer to come, which is going to be electric later in the day. Now, if you're wondering where Anthony stands in terms of national records, back in 1994, Angus Cooper set the national record, which still stands at 73 metres 10. So still 6 or 7 metres to go.
But we just got to put this in perspective. You're looking at a 22-year-old man.
Yeah.
So that's a 22-year-old man who's now, his PB was 66.58, so he's now just added another 13 centimetres to that with his first throw. And so he's feeling good now. If he really decides, right, I'm going to start seeing if I can rip it. This is going to be really fascinating to see and follow over the course of his throws.
So I'm just looking up how many of these national titles he's won. He's won the last 3 seniors, and like you said, he's only 22, but then he's won 2 junior titles before that. So he's got 5 national titles all in a row. You would say with that throw he's just booked himself another gold.
Well, it looks as though I can't see Mike going down there. I actually think he is the sole competitor. Right. Here's the other thing. Do you like that? Can you see the man just to the right there with the mask on and the hair and the volunteers? That's my boy Hunt O'Neill.
Wonderful to see these juniors back helping out with the officiating, and that looks like it's cracked the 60-metre mark again. Probably not as far as his first one, but Anthony Novello, it's just like a training day, really, isn't it? He's just out there cranking it.
So he has, obviously, you will get breaks sort of in between.
It's kind of cool for him because it means he can set the terms in terms of how much rest he's giving himself and just get him in the zone. Doesn't need to worry about what another competitor's doing. Just focus on, it's just me versus the tape measure.
Well, here we see the senior women's high jump.
So 4 competitors in this high jump competition. We've got Hayley Marks from Otago. I'm reading the women's heptathlon. In the high jump, we have Alexandra Hyland, Keely O'Hagan, Josephine Reeves, and Imogen Skelton. Now, I believe Josephine will be watching this from home. I haven't seen her around, and I believe she's on the dreaded COVID isolation duty. So thoughts go out to Josephine, former winner of this competition.
Just looking in the background there as we see Alexandra Hyland on your screen, the competitors for the first heats of the men's 100 metres, and the very imposing figure of one Edward Osai Nkitia striding out over the back straight. There you see the very relaxed figure, colourful like those tights from Eddie. That's all class there. 717. You see that man on your screen right there. That is Peter Rambandoka.
Now, to bring you up to speed on standings in the 100 metres, Tian with a PB this summer of 10.18. Eddie with a season's best of 10.19. Nothing splitting these two guys, except for the Tasman Sea until this weekend. And now we finally get to see them go head-to-head as Alex goes up, clears the bar at, what were we, 166?
166, we believe, is the number. Yes, it is, 166. So, first heat of the... there he is.
Oh, I like the tights. I'm not sure if the Auckland officials calling this the official team uniform, but they probably said either blue or black shorts. They're blue. Yeah. They're just multicoloured blue.
I got no problem.
I love it.
Oh, man, he's wearing grey. What's the issue?
Yeah. So here he goes.
Let them express themselves, Hayden. Share them. Let them express themselves.
Number 3 in the hammer circle. That looked like he released it pretty well. It's inside the sector.
I tell you what, his throwing so far, he has been consistent, all 3 of those. So we saw his new PB with the first throw of 66.71. It was 64 with the next. That one there, I think that's going to be similar-ish around that 63, 64. But here is the thing, though, with competing alone, and yes, it is a bit of a training run, but you know, you're still what you like when you are competing in those bigger fields. You do get that extra rest, that extra time. So here's Kylia Higgins.
Yeah, she's the favourite for this competition. Kylia Higgins, she's unbeaten this summer. Here she goes, first jump of the morning.
That's nice. And we saw that speed, and this was something that our co-commentator Sarah Cowley-Ross will be joining us a little bit later today, was talking about with regards to the high jump. Seeing that real speed and aggressive approach, getting the centrifugal forces working in your favour for the high jump. I'll let her to explain that more. There you see the heat number 1 field for the senior men's 100 metre. Dominic Overend, Cody Wilson, James Robertson, Shkula Orr, Peter Aduka, Edward Osai Nketiah and Nathan McDonnell.
Yeah, keep an eye on lane number 3 there. Cody Wilson, he's been in good form this summer, setting a PB of 10.60. And also good to see Dominic Overend. He's a former junior title holder, and good to see him back on the 100 metres as well.
Thank you very much to that fine gentleman down there doing the measuring for, showing the measurements for the hammer, making sure that our camera crew here at the stream shop can get a shot of that there.
Yeah, we just saw the fast legs of Eddie wearing those blue tights. You can tell his intention there. He is full of energy, stoked to be back here in Hastings, back here in New Zealand. Here's Alex.
What fascinated me, that's a nice clearance as well. What fascinated me, as I was leaving last night, he was leaving as well, and he just does everything quick. I mean, he was even walking quick. There was a real bounce and a purpose and an exuberance to his walk. And it was lovely to see. So there's Eddie wearing the Auckland singlet. 717. So he'll be running alongside Peter Romba Nduku of Auckland as well. Shkola Orr, Otago. James Robertson. Makato Bay of Plenty. And Cody Wilson. 711 for Cody. But it's safe to say that all eyes are going to be on that gentleman lane number 7. Reaching back now. So it's Wilson, Robinson, Orr, Ramotunduka, Osai Nketiah, and McDonnell. No Dominic Overend by the looks of it. All is in readiness. Heat 1, men's 100 metres. Good clean start. Eddie out of the blocks really nicely as well. The big high arm action. He's pushing through quite nicely. He's going to stride away. Great run on the inside of him by McDonnell and also Wilson. They come through, but so nice work by Osai Nketiah.
Yeah,
Press with the start.
Good to see, good to see Eddie up fast. And I was going to say, good to see also Cody running well. So that's a 10.72. So let's have a look at the start. All important for a bigger guy to get out quick and get those big limbs up to speed. But look, once he gets moving, he's so strong. Really powers through that middle stage of the 100 metres, backs off a little bit at the end. Cody Wilson with a good run there of 10.96. Nathan McDonnell with a 10.98, also dipping under 11 seconds. It'll be interesting to see where that cutoff is in terms of these two heats of the 100 metres. So fourth was Shula Orr with 11.37, so that could well be around that cutoff mark. And interesting that wind, slight headwinds, 0.2 negative headwind. Now that wind is predicted to swing around to a tailwind for this afternoon, which could be ideal timing for the finals for the 100 metres.
There's your second heat. We've seen Kurt Sweeney already in action in the triple jump. Jake Paul out of Wellington, Jackson Rogers of Otago, Hiato Yoneto of Southland, Brad Gruby of Canterbury, Jordan Borland of Auckland, and Tian Velpton putting the two quick guys in lane number 7 for the two heats. And then Tommy Tapuni as well, racing out of lane number 8 for Auckland. There's Anthony Novello. So, having extended his personal best with his first throw, 66.71. So go back again to O'Hagan.
Oh, yes.
That's two really nice clearances, one at 171 and then again at 175 from Keely O'Hagan.
So her best is 185, best this season of 183. So you can see there you'd say she's got another 10 centimetres in the bag there. So she's looking good. She's looked good all season, actually, and definitely peaking towards this event. Here we go, Anthony in the hammer throw circle. How fast is he spinning? My goodness, the momentum that he puts on that ball. Ooh. Incredible. This is looking long. This is looking good.
That's another good. This is a great series of throws.
We will need to keep the cameras on this one. Nigel, your eye is better than mine from this angle.
Well, he's gone more down the centre. What makes this one a bit hard to gauge is he's gone more down the centre of the arc, whereas that initial one was a little bit more towards the left-hand side. And it's easier to gauge a little bit some of these measurements when you get towards that either side of the sector, because you get more of that reference, the straight line reference going down. But, gee, that looks like another really good one right down the guts from Anthony. Set a PB with his first of 66.71. We'll come back to that. Tian Velpton, the man to watch in lane number 7, and you just see him ease up on to full height, and he's just cruising down. Tapuni and Borland will go through with him, but that was just comfortable from Tian Velpton.
Yeah, Tian looking really, really cruisy. Gets, like you say, gets up to speed and then just happy to jog it through and save the hammies for the rest of the weekend. Of course, he missed out on this event last year despite being in great form. Pulled a hammy in February and then couldn't make it to the Nationals, so he would love a national title to his name. So he gets up to speed, and look, it almost looks like he's in fourth gear, just pulling away from Jordan Bolland. Also on the outside of him, Tommy Tapuni running well. So those three will go through.
So will Yoneto and Rogers, because in the previous, the fourth place finisher was 11.37. And so Hayato Yoneto and Jackson Rogers both dipping underneath that at 11.15 and 11.27. Gee, you got to feel for Jake Paul, who's actually run quicker, but he's going to mix. He's also going to miss out as well.
Here's Imogen. We haven't seen much of her this morning, but she goes clear at 175. And that on screen is Alex, who may have just knocked the bar down. She did at 175. I assume she's got another jump still to come.
Also, I can tell you too, our heptathletes are just on track getting warmed up as well. 65.74. This has been a really good set of throws from Anthony Novello. Not only the fact that the distances, consistency in and around that 63 through to 66 metre mark, I haven't seen him rattle the cage yet, and I hope I haven't just given him the commentator's curse. I think he's got one more to go. And I'll be quite honest, I won't be upset to see him rattle the cage on this one. I just really want to see him absolutely rip it. He's got nothing to lose. I say 22 years of age. Just keep that in mind. 3
national titles. This is one of those situations where a thrower can keep going for decades. You know, could he rack up 20 of them? He's certainly looking good at the moment. This is his final throw. Releases, puts everything into it. Whoa, that's another big one.
Again, that looks around that 64, 65 mark, right down the centre of the arc.
And he's just fouled that one out. Yeah, fouled that one.
Well, he gets the handshake. He was the only competitor. Gee, I tell you what, he put on a nice show for us this morning, did Anthony Novello. He wins a 4th successive national title in the hammer throw. He sets a PB as well.
Brilliant there from Anthony. As we see, Alex, I think that's the second miss in 175. So, well, that's the third miss for Alex. So, unfortunately, that's the end of her competition, which leaves 2 athletes in the high jump, Kylia Higgins and Imogen Skelton.
We chat there with Coach. There's Anthony. Congratulations on another national title. Congratulations on a personal best, 66.71. Now we might be able to hear a little bit of rattling going on. In fact, you can see it right over the shoulder there of Anthony Novello before we cut away. Just the hurdles being set up.
I love when the hurdles comes out because this is a great team effort. You see local athletes, you see officials, see the little buggies come out with the hurdles, and it's a bit of a job setting up these 10 sets of hurdles across the track, making sure they're all at the right height. You've seen it before in various events where hurdles have been set at wrong heights for different events, and man, it throws a spanner in the works for the athletes. Well, so it's very important to get that right, and we've got some of the best officials in the world who will make sure that it's all set up properly for this hurdles competition, the high hurdles.
Set up for the heptathlon. There you see Hagen just working through a little mental preparation.
So it's become a Canterbury-Auckland battle. You can see her just going through those various phases. So she'll run straight, get up to speed, and then do a very tight bend as she turns her body 180 degrees to face away from the bar and enable her to jump backwards, of course, over the bar. So here she goes, getting up to speed, hitting that corner, and over she goes.
Sweet, that's
Look
nice.
at
That is really nice jumping from Kylia Higgins. And there might be a few people as well, by the way, just wondering, hang on, you guys were talking about para-athletes. Where are our para-athletes? Just settle down, folks. In about 45 minutes' time, you'll get to see the first of our outstanding para-athletes. That's a really good clearance.
Yeah, that's beautiful body awareness of the bar, just arching her back over. We saw at the other 2 heights. She was just getting over that with just sheer height and poppiness off the track. This one was showing that demonstration of great body awareness and just arching her body over that bar nice and cleanly. So getting that first up clearance at 179 will put the ball in the court of this woman on screen, Imogen.
Those hand movements. So it's very like a Vlasic with the hand movements and the exuberance. So,
yeah, field eventers always have these different techniques of getting themselves in the zone, whether it's a few whacks of the thighs or the cheeks or some self-talk meditation, feeling for the wind.
You saw Adam Stack, he did that big lean back onto his back leg before he exploded. Here comes Skelton.
Oh, beautiful. Wonderful. And Great technique, and I'd love to see a replay of this run-up, and you'll see the different phases that she goes through. So a few steps to get up to speed, and then a bounding sort of phase to really get into that motion, load up the tendons. So here we go, gets up to speed, now the bounding, and now the bend. Here we go, and positions herself perfectly. Wonderful jumping. You don't get any points for jumping any higher. You can skim it by millimetres and it still counts. And that was brilliant jumping there from Imogen. Sets this high jump competition alight. 2 women clear at 179.
Then we see Keely Higgins, bar going up to 1.83 m. So not too far away from the first event of the heptathlon. Just the 3 competitors.
So we've had
Christina
a scratching
Ryan,
in the...
Alice Taylor and Maddie Wilson. So we have had a scratching in terms of Hayley Marks was listed, but unfortunately another athlete who is being withdrawn.
Oh, that's a shame. So she is the bronze medalist from last year and the year before. So shame we won't be seeing Hayley, but 3 competitors in the heptathlon. I can't wait to get Sarah in here and really digest the intricacies of multi-eventing and how each event will have different points and each athlete will have different specialties that they will, that's their money event where they'll expect to bank away some good points.
So there you see Christina Ryan and Maddie Wilson out of Canterbury and Alice Taylor of Manawatu Wanganui, the 3 competitors in the heptathlon. We've become very familiar with Maddie over the course of a lot of the events throughout the summer because she just turns up and just does anything and everything. She's wonderfully gifted.
183 on the bar. Over she goes. Wow, Keely. Now, first up clearances are going to be very important, and that is a season's best, equaling season's best. Only 2 centimetres away from her best. Now, that really lays it out for Imogen. She will need to be clearing first attempt in order to keep her in this competition. Wow, brilliant jumping there from Keely.
1.83 m, and you see just to the left of your screen there, that was Imogen Skelton. She'll start to get herself set. I'm just saying we've seen a bit of Maddie Wilson at the age group levels now stepping up to seniors. So just great to have the combined events as part of the national championships. For those maybe watching Sky Sport Next for the first time, not familiar, well, you may think, well, Decathlon's always a part. Generally, the combined events is an actual separate event, separate entity away from the national championships. But to have them here, absolutely great. Of course, like a lot of sports, New Zealand, around the world. I know there will be people sort of tuning into the live stream from all around the world. Sporting events massively affected here in New Zealand by the pandemic. But great that these organisers, as Skelton, 183.
Oh!
Okay. Oh, this is getting good now. This is getting good now.
Game on. Wow, what a competition. This is
there you go.
This has just turned into the high jump competition of the summer here in New Zealand. Both women clear at 183. That's season best for both of them. Is that a big PB for Imogen? I want to say it is. I'm just going to... Yes, it is.
The smile on the face kind of sort of beams personal best, doesn't it?
And to do that in the first attempt and look so good as she's doing it, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat at the high jump.
Has no one told these ladies that it's meant to be the Hamish Kerr show over there? Hey, look at this. They're just going, okay, come on, big boy, let's beat this. We're putting on a show here. Let's see you do something as well this afternoon.
Now, in terms of where they're standing, best all-time in New Zealand is by Tanya Murray back in 1991, 192. So they're getting up there. They're now within 10 centimetres of that height. I imagine 183 will be looking at 185 potentially, 186, so 3 centimetre improvement. This will be personal best for both athletes now. So this is getting up into uncharted territories. We've already passed they're jumping a Hayden Sherman. Are they jumping a Nigel Yelden?
No.
No. Okay,
no.
We've still got some centimetres to go.
If they were jumping a Nigel Yelden, they would actually be getting very close to breaking that record of Tanya Murray. And I'm just trying to think. Tanya Murray won the Commonwealth Games in Auckland in 1990.
You could be right. Let me do
Tracy,
some.
and I
some
suspect
Googling.
Tracy Phillips won the bronze in that one. A good Wanganui girl. Shout out the hometown. So that is that's good jump, and it's clean jumping as well. That was the thing for me there, Hayden. It's not like they were skimming the bar and giving it a wobble. They were going over with room to move. There you see our 3 heptathletes making their way around to the start. They've got a 100 metres hurdles event. Christina Ryan at the front of that group. Alice Taylor in the middle, representing Manawatu Wanganui, and then at the back it was Maddie Wilson. And tell you what, Kylia Higgins, loose, relaxed. She's got a bit of a tune bopping around in her head, keeping herself nice and calm.
Unbeaten.
Lovely
this
smile
season.
on the face as well. They're in great.
I saw Keely have a wonderful jump off with Josephine Reeves and Howard at the jumps to music, and she came out on top in that shirt. So she's a competitor, so she will love this, absolutely love this, having such a good competition. So first attempt here at 1:86. This would be a PB. Oh, first miss of the day. The ball goes into the court of Imogen.
So 1.86 m.
And that's 5 centimetres above what Imogen's ever done in her life until today. Just, you can see the hips just dropping there, just needing to really arch that body up as much as she possibly can, but she had the height.
Well, we're just got to say here, we've seen over there in the high jumping, red and black singlets going great guns. We saw Ethan Bone jump over 2 metres for the first time yesterday. We saw Adam Stack not only break 2 metres, but also tack another 3 on top of that. There ended up with a 2:05. Now we're seeing Kylia Higgins with a PB. You've got to say, whatever those coaches in Canterbury are doing at the moment, they're doing some great work with regards to the high jump, because that's, when you come to these events, if you're seeing personal bests achieved, I'd say as a coach, as an athlete, you've got to be absolutely chuffed. But athlete and coach must be doing something really right, really gelling to get these kind of performances on this stage, which I know it's not targeted for some per se, but just to be able to stand here and perform, you know, with the live stream, the viewing audience, not only in New Zealand but around the world, that's great stuff. Here's Skelton now.
5 centimetres above her PB. That is a lot higher than her own height, so this is where it gets challenging, looking up to that bar, but she's having an absolutely wonderful day. I don't think she's missed yet, so if she gets this, that will put her in pole position. Here she goes, Imogen Skelton, 1:86 on the bar. Oh!
Done!
Oh!
Have some!
Skims it, 5 centimetre PB. She has come here to play. She can't believe it. She's almost going over to Keely to just apologise because of how on fire she is in the high jump. Wonderful scenes here. Imogen just reaching for the sky today. Have a look at this. And the difference between those two jumps, I want to say, was that just that arching, just getting the hips up, really cranking the hips up to the sky right at that key moment to clear the bar, skims it, but it stays on 1:86, big PB when it counts at the national champs. She's pumped.
Yeah, she was actually nice and clear over with the back part, just sort of clipped it with the lower back. Now it's on O'Hagan, and as we say, count back now favouring Skelton. O'Hagan, can she respond?
Oh!
Too right she can. Too right she can.
1:86 PB. She moves on to the next height. Absolutely stoked. You know, it takes competition to bring the best out of yourself, and we've just seen it.
And the best thing about it is right now they're getting set up for the first heat of the Decathlon. They're getting set up for other events. So they've just got the stage all to themselves. We've got Christina Ryan, Alice Taylor and Maddie Wilson preparing for the
What
100
a jump.
hurdles.
Beautiful. Made those technical changes. Oh,
Bar
loving
goes
this.
up.
Absolutely loving this.
Bar up to 189.
I tell you, if you know someone who has got any inkling towards the high jump, send them the link. Hit that share button, send them the link, post it up on your social media, and get eyeballs on screen, because we are seeing some beautiful jumping as we switch over to the long jump. So this is the decathlon long jump. So 585 in round one. So 3 rounds. So this is where decathlon, the multi-events, differ somewhat from the usual field events, where we'll just see 3 rounds, and that's just a matter of saving energy across the rounds.
Our 3 athletes in the heptathlon, they are ready to go. You see, so that's Christina Ryan in lane number 3, Alice Taylor, lane number 4, Maddie Wilson, lane number 5. They start with 100 metres hurdles, their first events for the day. Taylor, nicely over the top now. Ryan, Wilson moving very well as the 2 Cantabrians surge. Lovely work here from Christina Ryan. Maddie Wilson trying to go with her, but that's very good hurdling by all 3 of these ladies. And those times, we're going to be in and around 16 seconds and that sort of mark. Really nice performance. Maddie Wilson's got a nice smile on her face. Yeah,
Maddie Wilson's actually the under-20 reigning champ for the hurdles, the 100 hurdles. So she would favour herself to perform well in that. But she's got her work cut out for her, because we haven't really talked about this field. But Christina Ryan, 4 times New Zealand heptathlon champ. She's won it 2018, 2019, 2020, 21. If she wins this year, this weekend, she will make it 5 in a row, which would be an absolute stunning feat. She started well, gets the better of Alice and Maddie in that opening exchange. So 14.95 for Christina is a good opener. And
oh, gee, I was going to say, I said 16s. They were well inside that.
Yeah, 15.36 for Maddie. And then just a tick over 16 for Alice.
Let's just roll through. I can give you what those points will be if you just give me one moment. So
it's 14.95
for Ryan. Let's watch this jump come through.
We've seen a bit of that over that on the runway there for the long jump.
What's going on there? So for Christina Ryan, that's worth 848 points. For Maddie Wilson, her time of 15.36. That's good enough for 795. And for Alice Taylor, the 16.09, 703, if my calculations are correct.
Now, that's interesting. When you talk, Maddie Wilson's PB is 4944. So divide that by 7, and it's about 700 points per event that you're looking at. Christina Ryan's PB, 5145. So more like sort of 730 points per event is what we're looking for to get after that PB. Obviously, they'll have their strength in the various events, but we're back in the long jump. That looked like a good jump there from our Auckland athlete. Was that Stephen Thorpe?
I'm checking here. I'm just working calculators at the same time as we're trying to do a few things. Here's Aaron Booth. We know that one there.
And meanwhile, I can see over at the high jump, we are raising the bar, and there's officials meeting. There are athletes having a chat. So at the moment, Imogen holds the upper hand in that competition, but both are clear at 1 metre 86. Both PBs, both New Zealand leads this year.
The man on your screen is Aaron Booth. He is the World University gold medal, or World University Games gold medalist in this event.
Oh, this is serious stuff.
Here we go, Aaron Booth in the long jump, round 2. Good power through the air, good speed on the runway.
We saw him with a very good time. What he ran, 11.03, 11.03 for the 100 metres.
Now we're going to be sort of tracking Aaron throughout the event, because one of the goals is to see, can he get close to an 8,000, which is, once you're getting into the 8,000s, then you're truly talking world-class decathlon. So his best ever is, just scanning down.
Good jump there. That was
7.827. And best long jump in that competition was a 7.19.
Well, he's just jumped 7 metres 13.
Oh, very good.
So,
and coincidentally, his 100 this morning, which I think was 11:03, was faster than his 11:09 from his personal best decathlon. So showing that he's in great form. He's come back from the States after a very successful collegiate career and has been training well here in New Zealand, looking good all summer long, and started his campaign off this weekend very, very well indeed.
Rattling in behind us right now as they take away the...
Getting rid of the hurdles.
You see, Nick Fee, 5.22 metres. Here we go. Back to the show.
So Keely will be opening up this, and what will the bar be at? I'm guessing 188?
1.88.
Wow.
You see the breeze negligible there, just the windsock, the yellow and black windsock. Away to the left of Keely. So we come back to O'Hagan.
Oh, good attempt. Yeah. knocked it with the head, but that's going to give her a bit of confidence because the bar is higher than she's ever seen it before at 188. And look, for a first up attempt, she'll take some confidence with that, go away and tweak a few things.
Next to Irurua on your screen there.
So 5.73 for Max. Keely just talking to Terry Lomax and just tweaking a few things. Definitely one of the best minds in the sport to have in your corner.
Good jump there by Joshua Woodhead of Hawke's Bay, Gisborne.
Oh, yeah, we've organised. You've organised it?
Yeah, Imogen Skelton.
Yes, okay. No, I'm not starting. Oh, okay, just here.
Imogen at 1.88 metres. And has that slight advantage by way of the count back. Really dialing in. These are heights new to them. As we say, a clearance here, and you can start talking metre 90s and that magical barrier for these young ladies. But they've got to get over this one first.
Oh, again, the head knocks it off, which means, you know, once you start getting up into these heights, and we've talked about this summer with Hamish Kerr looking to get up and, you know, into those mid to high 230s, you need to tweak a few things. It's not just a matter of jumping high, it's a matter of coming into the bar with a bit more speed, jumping off a bit further away from the bar, so that trajectory has enough room to get yourself up and over. So there's a lot of little tweaks that come into play. It's not just about muscling it up and getting over it. There's those technical aspects of it. So this high jump competition is going to be so exciting. We've got 2 more jumps to go from each of them. And now back to the decathlon.
It's Matthew Walcamp. I saw before the 6 metre 27 jump from Woodhead. Matthew currently sitting in 7th spot at the moment after the 100 metres to begin. There we go, 6 metres 12, 6 metres 12 centimetres for Matthew Walcamp. So here we go back over to Keely O'Hagan. So as I say, still missing. There we see one of our para-athletes. I know there's a fair few people who are quite excited to see our para-athletes involved, and so great to see them out and about. And we will see some of their action coming up very shortly. So O'Hagan now, this is second attempt. 1 metre 88. That was a better effort. Better effort. She's got one more crack at 1.88 metre.
Yeah, you can only do so much with that. I've already started counting to 20.
There's Nick Fee waiting for his next opportunity in the decathlon long jump.
When's your ceremony? I think Antonia's is probably about.
Wyatt with a 6 metre 33 centimetre jump.
Okay, well done, Lloyd.
And if you're wondering how the decathlon works on day 1, day 2, essentially on day 1 you've got 2 jumps and 1 throw, plus the 2 track events of the 100 and the 400. And then on day 2 it's more about the throws, so 2 throws, 1 jump with the pole vault, plus the 110 hurdles, and then finishing off with the grueling 1500 metres. So today is the 100 long jump, then they'll move to the shot put, and then the high jump, and then the 400 metres.
Because like that's not grueling enough either.
Yeah.
Here comes Nick Fee out of Manawatu Wanganui. Nice extension. White flag up. Nice jump by Nick. So back over at the high jump, and Imogen Skelton with her second attempt at 1.88 metre. So there is Fee. 6 metres 32 for Nick. 6 metres 32 centimetres. There's Skelton, missed it her first attempt at 1.88 metre. Remember, both of these jumpers already with personal best today.
Oh, again, almost a carbon copy of that first attempt, just their head knocking it. So just a demonstration that this is getting into uncharted territory.
We do have to just stress as well, though, the fact that there was that one miss on the previous height.
So there's Max Teorua just having to readjust last second, and see, you can see just that readjustment not quite enough, gets the red flag. And will this be Keely's final attempt?
Yep, she has got 2 marks against her name, so this is it. Going through the mental visualisation.
She's stoked, though, like to come away with a PB at National Champs. You can't ask for anything more than that. And if one of your competitors manages to get you on count back and also drop a massive PB, then that's how it plays out. But this is wonderful, and we'll see if she can go one better. But what a competition we've had so far.
It'll be, really fascinating for these 2 young ladies. As we see another jump there in the decathlon.
Yeah, Josh
jump.
Woodhead.
So, white flag, but back to O'Hagan. This is her last attempt at 1.88 metre. Good speed, aggressive approach. Yes!
Oh! Woo!
Outstanding. And now it's pressure back on Imogen Skelton.
When she needed to do it, she delivered. She's jumping 3 centimetres higher than she ever has in her life. And did I just hear something about a qualifying mark for Com Games? I will need to double check this. 184 is the qualifying mark for the Com Games. So both these women have gone clear of that. Now, that might have been a qualifying mark for the World Champs as well. So both these women have come here to play and just jumping the best they ever have in her life. And look, I love that claim. I love the joy of just seeing an athlete at their peak, performing when it matters.
All right. Can Imogen keep this great competition going? It's now on her. One last chance.
Oh, best attempt of the day so far. She's had the competition of her life. She should go home absolutely delighted. She held the lead until that last minute. These 2 women have put on such a display. It's been such an incredible day in the high jump, and we're only getting started.
Okay, let's just pump the brakes here a bit. Right now, if you're Keely O'Hagan, because you don't have to stop, do you chuck 192 on there? Do you chuck the New Zealand record on there just to have a look?
So we've just heard she's raising the bar to 190. So you mentioned 192's the record. Why not? You're jumping out of your skin.
Let's have a look at this. Look, that's the obvious next mental barrier. Okay, so we've spoken about doing PBs and they've jumped up. There's all these little mental barriers. We talk about, Adam Stack and Ethan Bone, two Canterbury age group high jumpers, both clearing 2 metres for the first time. That's that mental hurdle. So now for Keely, the 190, that's the next mental barrier. So to have a chance to have a look at as we see Matt Wyatt waiting for the long jump. And the way she did it, again, missed on your first two, deliver.
So good. And behind the 8 ball as well, she had to make that clearance to get the national title. And a few weeks ago, I saw those competitive spirits come out against Josephine Reeves, who's at home, unfortunately, watching this. And I'm sure she'll be enjoying this. So greetings, Josephine. We've seen how she rises to the challenge in a jump-off situation, and in that situation, had to perform, had to get the PB, and she does. So bar moving up to 190, and we are within Kui. Are we at a Nigel Yelden yet? Are we jumping a Nigel
190?
Yelden? 190?
190 would
Getting
be
close. We're well above a Hayden Sherman.
Yeah, 190 would be myself.
Yeah. They're jumping a Hayden Sherman in very high shoes, so very cool scenes as we jump back to Nick Fee. Nick Fee's an interesting story. Now, as I understand it, he played high-level basketball for years, and now in his mid to late 20s decided, look, I'd like to give this multi-eventing a go. Sounds fun. So he's involved with a great crew of Palmerston North athletes, and he's had a wonderful summer. Picks up the red flag in round 3, so that will be his final jump in the long jump. Gives a little smile to the officials. So just 3 rounds in the long jump. And here she is, 190 on the bar. She's claimed the national title. She remains unbeaten for the season after a little scare. But man, is she having a good summer. She's just like looking at the bar. 190. I'm absolutely stoking right now.
Well, she doesn't have anything to lose. It's all gains. She has the ability to, as I say, have a look at this. As I suppose now, as of probably about an hour ago, kind of almost mythical height. I'm trying to be too hyperbolistic about it, but now she's like, okay, I'm in the mix here.
I mean, when she woke up this morning, if you said you'd be clearing the bar with 1.8 something, she would have taken it. Put 1.9 on the bar, and she'd be, well, it would be way out there, but I'm going to give it a go. First attempt was a no-go.
Again, it's that whole thing. Let's have a look. Let's just see. These are all great little lessons, and the person who, in addition, who'll be getting the info there, that man on your screen.
Yeah, Terry Lomax.
Coach Lomax.
He's an absolute master in terms of the movement of the human body. He calls himself a movement coach. He doesn't just coach the high jump, of course. He coaches a lot of multi-eventers and even a middle distance athlete. So he understands the mechanics of the body, and he'll just, I would say, just give her, no more than one little tip. And probably he's just saying, look, just do your thing. Just have fun.
Work it through. Work through your process.
Yeah. Practice this lots. Just some minor tweaks maybe. But you've got a massive PB. You've got another national title. Life's good. Enjoy it.
She's got just on 2 minutes to use there. So she's going to have a sit down, have a little bit of a think. So you just work through, she'll get a bit more hydration into the body.
And this is the wonderful thing, the contrast of performances. We had the race walking, which is just empty the tank, absolute endurance sport. And then the other extreme is this explosive, fluid movement, so technical, and where you need to take time to poise the mind, prep the body, allow the nervous system to just resettle, and then have that ability to get into it, psych your body up again and get after it. So athletics is wonderful, just the variety of human endeavours, the variety of testing the human body and the human mind to see what it can do.
Just doing some quick mathematics. After 2 events in the decathlon, I've got Aaron Booth leading with a score of 1,699. He ran 11.03 for 184 points in the 100 metres, and his best long jump that we saw was 7.13. That would be worth 845 points. So just
that means he's pretty much bang on track to how he won the World University Games and set his personal best back in 2019. So Aaron Booth performing very well, getting into the 800s early. He would favour himself in the running and jumping events, probably a little weaker in the throws.
Here's O'Hagan. 190 on the bar.
Second attempt.
Oi, that was a good one.
Very good. She waxed the mat, but with a little smile on her face, because she knew she had 80-90% of the pieces in place of that puzzle.
We're just going to just very quickly step out. We'll be back to take that final jump of Keely O'Hagan and continue our coverage of Day 3, the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Come on, let's go.
Stubborn gut? Life's easier when you feel in control.
Let's go, Flo.
Flo is made with kiwi fruit extract zyactinase and has prebiotics, fibre and enzymes to naturally support bowel health. And now there's Flo for kids.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
There you see the high jump area. This afternoon it'll be all eyes on Hamish Kerr, but I tell you what, this morning Imogen Skelton and Kelly O'Hagan have given Hamish a run for his money in terms of spotlights. Wonderful performance. And Aidan Sherman, he's got the laptop going. He's got multiple screens open. He's checking out qualifying standards for World Championship, Commonwealth Games as well.
Yeah, so the
what have you gleaned?
The Com Games standard is, now I think this is the B standard. I should actually scroll down and check the A standard. A standard is 192. B standard is 188. So she's got that in the bag. She's got a B standard. So B standard, you need to rack up a couple of them, and then it's still down to selector discretion as to whether you get the nod. We've got a limited number of athletes that can attend the games, but she's having the time of her life out there. It's so great to see.
Nice and relaxed. This is her final attempt at 1 metre 90.
Whoa.
Clips it, but it doesn't. It does not take any gloss off what was an outstanding performance by Keely O'Hagan, winning the women's senior high jump. Imogen Skelton, silver. There's Imogen.
Yeah.
Alex Highland with the bronze, but that really was a brilliant performance by both of those athletes on your screen. But
what a
Kylia
competition. Even the photographer's getting some cuddles, and deservedly so. She has put on an absolute show this morning. That's the highest jump by a Kiwi for quite some years, 188. It's a B qualifier for the Com Games. Terry Lomax, her coach, says, well done, not just for today, well done for an amazing season, unbeaten this year. And, you know, that's hard work. That's a winter spent in the gym, training, conditioning the body. All those plyometrics, all those squats and deadlifts, all that sprinting on the track for that moment there to set a new PB, national title, Com Games B standard. She should be happy. She should be proud of what she's done today.
And she is indeed, and rightfully so. You see her with her coach, Terry Lomax. So she's also had a look. She's had 3 looks now as well as that at that magical 1.90 m. This is the thing. At 188, that's only 4 centimetres off that mark set by the wonderful Tanya Murray. And now she's just talking her way through it. And
she's hurt her head on that last attempt. I think it really whacked the bar. So,
well, it's been some absolute quality high jumping by the senior women. And this afternoon we will get to see Hamish Kerr in action as well. Well, we've seen Adam Stack, Ethan Bone, Keely O'Hagan, all out of Canterbury, all out of high jumpers, all doing personal bests. Stack and Bone going over 2 metres for the first time. O'Hagan now with 1.88 m. No pressure, Hamish Kerr, but you got to say your provincial teammates have just laid down a heck of a marker for you, and you just wonder whether maybe someone, we know Hamish is in really good form, but we just wonder if there's someone who maybe can give him the friendly little rib.
Yeah.
Just going, hey, this is what the rest of the team's doing, buddy. It's on you. Off you go, champion.
And look, I think it's a two-way street. When you've got Hamish Kerr down the end of Napunawai there, putting the bar up 230 something in training, and being able to see that week in, week out, rub shoulders with, you know, top 10 athlete in the world in the high jump. It shows, I was about to drop a terrible pun of how one athlete can raise the bar for the others. There's the pun. But that rubbing off effect, and I think it's a two-way street. Hamish will have watched this. He's probably back at the hotel watching the stream right now, and he'll be amping for his teammates, just seeing what they've done there, and he cannot wait, I'm sure, to get down here to Mitre 10 Sports Park and start heading up into the stratosphere.
Now, one thing we do just need to inform you of as well is, I know there'll be a few people saying, well, we're meant to be seeing some heats, some prelims for both the men's and women's senior 400 metres. Both of those events have gone straight to finals, again, affected by some withdrawals, scratchings.
Both those races will be ones to watch, though. I cannot wait for the Portia Bing, Rosie Elliott, Isabel Neal. I'm just looking if we've got
Cameron
Cameron
Smart.
Smart. Yeah, she is in there. So those 4 athletes have been all PBing this year, and Portia and Rosie, it's not their favourite event. So that will be exciting. And also the men, we've just seen Hamish Gill been running really well, John Gerber, so that will be a very exciting race, both those one-lappers.
So both of those events, they have gone straight to a final, so the prelims, which were down on the schedule now, that is the case. When you have numbers go down to 8 or 9, they will just go straight to, in this case 8, they will just go straight to a straight final. As there we see some of our para-athletes getting set. That's Gabrielle Wright out of Auckland.
Yep. Getting those wheels rolling. Real exciting race, the wheelchair racing. They really fly around the track. Takes a little while to get up to speed, and so usually in the 400 when they're racing other para-athletes, they will be left behind in that first 100, 200. But man, when they get up to speed, is an exciting race. Very technical as well, managing those bends.
Just a ceremony being presented here.
Yeah, so this is...
Is that the Arthur Euston Award?
Yeah, so this is the Arthur Eustace Award for coaching, and really cool, deserving member, Raylene Bates, who is one of our leading coaches, particularly in the throws, and she's also played a really important part, not only in her own coaching, but also in developing other coaches.
Just going to interrupt you there and interrupt this wee ceremony, because we believe that Sarah Cowley-Ross has got the senior women's high jump champion of 2022 with her. We'll be cutting across very shortly to Sarah with Kylia Higgins, who's put on a show along with Imogen Skelton this morning. At the moment, just waiting for that interview just to come through, but a great performance. We've seen some excellent performances here already. Good start to the decathlon for Aaron Booth. Anthony Novello winning another hammer throw and with a PB to boot as well, adding was 13 centimetres on to his mark. So as they just award this wonderful honour, we are just waiting for that interview to come through very shortly. So Raylene Bates receiving the Arthur Euston Award. A nice round of applause, and so she should too.
She has an athlete-centred approach and creates training environments that are positive, inspiring and inclusive. They also said she is most understanding about the other lifestyle demands in today's as well as several national champions and medals. Yet, she is still passionate about working with beginner and developing athletes. She is a strong advocate for coaches and athletes, especially for para-athletes, to ensure there are opportunities available to all. Nationally, she has been a huge supporter of coach education and development and has played a leading role within the Athletics New Zealand Throws event group to deliver opportunities to coaches and athletes. She has helped to deliver the annual Throws camp in Christchurch and Dunedin earlier this year, and often gives community workshops to clubs and teachers throughout the Otago region. Raylene is also involved in the High Performance Sport New Zealand Coach Leadership Program and the Coach Accelerator Program, demonstrating her commitment to continued learning and growth. Raylene is a well-deserving recipient for the Arthur Eustace Award for Coaching, as she epitomises the same values in her work that Arthur practiced and held dear. Congratulations, Raylene. It is my absolute pleasure today to present this special award to you.
And Raylene Bates getting that Arthur Eustace Award.
Thank you very much, and this award means a lot to me, not just because of the award, but Arthur totally epitomised all our values. I had the pleasure of knowing Arthur, and it wasn't just about coaching, it was about his passion for sport. I remember being in Daegu as a team leader for the World Championships. He took time out of his busy schedule as the Oceania rep on the IAAF and come and spent time with the team, getting to know them and wishing them good luck. That's the sort of man he was, so it really means a lot. It also means a lot to be associated with the previous recipients of this award, who I'm very dear friends with and have mentored me along the way as well. So thank you so much. Thank you to my athletes, especially the two that nominated me. It means a lot. But just while everybody's here, I just actually want to say thank you to the LOC and to everybody that's here today, because, man, what a job that we're actually all here in the Hawke's Bay and we're running this event. And I think this actually shows what athletes and coaches and officials, administrators are all about for our sport, because a lot of sports would have given up, it would have been just too hard. And I think Arthur would have been really, really proud that everybody's made the effort to be here and have an amazing championship. So well done, everybody. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Kate.
Raylene Bates receiving that Arthur Eustace Award, and thoroughly deserving as well. Let's work their way through all the different presentations and ceremonies and gifts there. So we are hopeful of getting a chat very shortly with Keely O'Hagan. Also too, we aren't too far away from seeing our first para-athletes in action for the women's 800 metres open para. It'll be Gabrielle Wright of Auckland and two Canterbury athletes, Sarah James and Montana Brown. And they're due to get underway at 11:45, so in around 8 minutes' time. Of course, they run very much to time at these events. And you also see there number 20 in lane number 6. That is Jaden Movold. That is the men's 800 metres open para-athlete.
Yeah, so he's just 17 years of age and improving every year is Jaden.
He's been around forever though, that's the thing.
And just saw he's heading off to uni, about to start a degree in psychology. So certainly the psychology of racing a wheelchair around the track is an interesting one as well. And so it'll be great to use that as a bit of a test case as he goes through that degree. He's got a great social media presence as well, so make sure you get on and follow Jaden. He's always posting up about his training and his results, and set up a little, during lockdown, had a stationary wheelchair racing set up.
Well, just while we wait for the start of that particular event, I think it is now time to go down. We say a very good kia ora to Sarah Cowley-Ross, who has got the women's senior high jump champion of 2022 alongside her in Keely O'Hagan. Kia ora.
Well, I'm here with Keely O'Hagan. What a day for Keely. 188, attempts at 190. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels so good. We've known that it's there, and it's just been a work in progress. So I am so happy, like absolutely stoked. And I'm also so stoked for Imogen. She jumped a 5 centimetre PB today and jumped absolutely amazing. Like, it was just, we haven't seen that level of competition at a nationals here for women's high jump for a while. So it's amazing.
Well, let's go back, Keely, because your PB coming into this competition was 85, and for the last 7 years you have either equalled that or haven't jumped that. So 7 years you haven't done a PB. Today you come out 86, 88, and then you have attempts at 90. Who have you got to thank for this incredible journey that you've been on to get to this point?
Oh, I've got a bit of a long list. But Terry, my coach, he's just believed in me so much for the last, 7 years, and he's had a part in my athletics journey since I was 15. Also Mike Ritchie, my previous coach, who kind of set me up to hand me over to Terry. I know that he's, he loves it, but he finds it quite hard sometimes seeing us. But obviously he's so happy for us. And then obviously like my family and training squad and support network. Like without them, I just wouldn't be here. But I'm just also myself. Like I've believed in myself the whole time, and it's been a really rough journey. So just to put it all together and know that there's also more in the tank is exciting.
Oh, it's so exciting. I had tears in my eyes when I found out that Keely was attempting 190, I have to say. But what was it? What were those looks at 190? Because that's an important part of today as well, is that you've seen that bar, and I think that's well in your reach.
Yeah, I think on my first and my third attempt, I just got really excited and a bit too carried away. So to kind of I've only attempted 90 once before, and so to have those attempts and have a really good second attempt, it just gives me a lot more confidence to follow through work on my cues and just relax and know that I am capable of it.
We've got one Com Games B standard in the bag today, so tuck that away. Great world ranking points for the World Championships in Oregon. What's next for you on your path this year?
I'm off to Sydney next week for Sydney Track Classic, and that will wrap up my season. And I know that Nicola McDermott's jumping there, so it will give me some good competition. Obviously, she's a level above, but it will give me someone to chase after, and so hopefully get some more ranking points there, and then knuckle down into Oceanias. And hopefully world champs.
Hopefully. Well, some incredible jumping out here today from both Keely and Imogen Skelton. PBs all over the show, and how great it is for women jumpers. Congratulations, Keely. Incredible result.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to Sarah Cowley-Ross as well. And I mean, we really are starting. I think Keely hit on it. We haven't seen those sort of things, those sort of jumps done in tandem. And we do have to go back. And you mentioned Tanya Murray, and I can throw in Tracy Phillips' name into it as well. That's probably when you've really got to sort of go back and start looking at that. And that's sort of late 80s, late 80s, very early 90s. But lovely to see those two athletes bringing out the best of them. And as I say, we've seen great jumping, PBs being hit at the high jump. And geez, with Hamish Kerr still to roll out this afternoon as one of the features of our coverage this afternoon here on Sky Sport Next of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championship, as we see Laura Langley receiving her silver medal from the 10,000 metres track race walk. Courtney Rusk claiming a 4th national title.
Yeah, just going through what that 188 means in terms of the national standing. So that puts her equal 6th all-time in New Zealand. And interesting, she's talking to Sarah Cowley-Ross, who is, I didn't realise she was a 191 jumper. I knew she was good, but I didn't know she was up into the 190s as well. So we've got Tanya Murray, who you mentioned, gold medalist in the Com Games from 1990 with that 192, she said a year later. And then Sarah Cowley-Ross with a 191, and then Elizabeth Lamb. So she was top performing competitor.
Now Elizabeth Gapes, that was part of the confusion we had the other day when Hannah Gapes was competing. But now she is Elizabeth Gapes, but Liz Lamb at the time.
Yeah, so she's sitting in 3rd.
Roll down. It's not a bad list there. What Angela McKee, Trudy Woodhead, Tracy Phillips. I think she wouldn't have been far there.
So Tracy Phillips sharing that 188. And that rounds up your top 7 when now you include our recent arrival into there with Keely.
Well, you've still got the likes of a Josie Taylor, a Josephine Reeves, Imogen Skelton now in the mix as well. And no wonder we're seeing the great as we get the standings for the men's decathlon as well as we continue to wait for the start of the 800 metres. Still just on about 90 seconds away. So Aaron Booth, 1,699. The calculator app on the iPhone is working brilliantly this morning. Ethan Phillips currently in 2nd spot. He's got 1,417 points, only a point ahead of Matthew Wyatt, who in turn is only 3 ahead of Matthew Walcamp. So really tight for places 2, 3 and 4. But as we suspected, Aaron Booth, good start. 100 metres of 11.03, long jump of 7 metres 13 onto the shot put next. And as I say, we've got the different calculators up and going. Hayden's keeping an eye on just that progression in terms of using that World University Games gold medal by way of comparison. One of the, about 15 tabs that's currently open on the
so
Sherman.
Many tabs and so many Excel spreadsheets. It's going a bit nutty, really. Papers all over the desk.
Well, we're not going to be too far away from seeing those decathletes and athlete in action again with the shot put. Right now we are just very close to the start of the women's and the men's open 800 metres. We've got Jada Movold out there in lane number 6, but it's also Montana Brown, lane number 5, lane number 4. Sarah James and Gabrielle Wright is in lane number 3 from Auckland. They are in the starters' hands.
So 2 laps of the course here at Mitre 10 Sports Park. You can see Jaden getting away to a good solid start. Really been working on that power and just making a little adjustment there to his steering. very important to stay in the lanes, particularly early on. They'll hit that brake line. You can see the little yellow markers there. So that'll be the cue to head on into lane 1. Jaden will take this lead out to start with. He recently set a PB in the 800 back in mid-February. So he's in good form, keeps improving every meet. It seems like every race is a PB for Jaden, as you'd expect from a 17-year-old who does train particularly well. Now he's into lane 1, and as you can see, moving along well. The girls moving into that 200-metre mark.
I just find it, I just can't imagine you're trying to get all that power and then you're having to make that, you see them slapping there, just making the adjustment there. You see it, just straightening things out. Head down, powering through. So he's going to...
Yeah, let's get a split here. So he's going through in
the bell.
1:06. Now, I believe the national record for Jaden's division, which is T54, is 1:43. So that's the senior and junior records. So he's going to have to really motor, but of course he is already up to speed, so it's about maintaining that speed, making sure he can cut those lines as well as possible to really shave off as much distance as he needs to travel.
Got the head down and just powering it. Has a wee look now, see where he is on the track, and there you see the adjustment again.
So happy, just happy to stay in lane 2, play it a little bit safer, really powering the arms up. And then as he comes off this bend, he will absolutely empty the tank, test out that psychology that we talked about, and really push his way, hopefully, to a new PB, but we will see.
He's got the head down and driving as the clock ticks over 2 minutes. Jaden Movol coming down to the finish line, the 800 metres open men's para. Out to the line, around 2:15-ish.
Yeah, I make it about 2:15. So a good outing there by Jaden. The woman rounding that bend, the last bend, and really cranking it now.
See them coming down there. There is Montana Brown. She's just coming around the 200-metre bend. This is her provincial teammate, Sarah James.
You can see them wearing the helmets, and justified too, because when you see them really racing, really going for it, it's more cycle race than running race.
I tell you what,
this
national record under threat here. National record under threat here. I think she might have dipped under 2:56. Sorry to interrupt you, Aidan.
No.
But I think she could have broken a national record
We'll
there.
have to watch these results come through. Impressive.
Comes Gabrielle Wright coming through.
Not too far outside of the T34. She's T54 is her category.
Montana Brown coming through as well. I'm just very keen to see what that time was for Sarah.
Now, I imagine all 3 women will be compared as a percentage of world records. So we've got 3 different categories. We've got Montana in T34, Sarah in T53, and Gabrielle Wright in T54. You can see those numbers on screen.
2 minutes 56.57. So
that's a new national record.
Looks like a new national record. Well done, Sarah James. Outstanding. And not just records. What's she taken? Probably about an 8th off, a 10th.
Yeah, impressive.
8/10ths, I should say.
See it really, really puffing.
Well, that's a great effort. Good effort by Movold. Great effort there by James. Movold 2 minutes 15.87 for Jaden. So nice to see the first of our wonderful para-athletes in action. We'll see more of them over the course of the next 2 days. As we've been saying, the opening 2 days, our under-18 and under-20 athletes dominating. And the weekend, it's the seniors and the paras.
And you look at those chairs, they're real speed machines. It's really cool to get a good look at them. Angled wheels at the back, big long wheel base to really get those things up to speed. So it's such a cool addition to the program, having the wheelchair racing on the track.
You see the competitors for the women's long jump. And there. It's a really good quality field as well. Ashley Bennett of Taranaki, Kelsey Berryman and Helena Dennison of Canterbury, Anna Grimaldi of Otago, speaking of outstanding para-athletes, Ali Hurley-Langton out of Manawatu Wanganui, Hannah Maloney of Canterbury, Mariah Ruranuri and Jamie Spear. Ruranuri of Waikato Bay of Plenty and Spear of Waitakere. Ali Hurley-Langton. Just trying to figure out whether she'd be related. Oh, it's assumed from that region she might be related to Seamus, who's a pretty handy rugby player. Seamus Hurley-Langton playing open side for the Manawatu Turbos every once in a while. There you see the wonderful setup here at the Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park. So that far end you can see our senior men's decathletes getting ready. They are underway in just on 10 minutes time in their third discipline. That is the shot put.
Yeah, amazing that they're already into their third discipline. What have you been doing at home, viewers, so far today?
Here we see.
We're at 10 to 12 and we're already into the third competition for these athletes. So it shows how hard-working they are.
I can tell you right now that there are people going, mate, put a sock in it. I've already put out 3 loads of washing. Yeah. I've already done the vacuum cleaning. I've mowed the lawns.
Got the kids off.
Just pipe down, Sonny. Pipe down.
So there we go, Aaron Booth in the lead with that 16.99. He's on good track to PB form. Ethan Phillips in second. Matthew Wyatt looking good as well. Matthew Walcamp, one of the favoured athletes to feature in the medals as well. So it's going to be a good little battle for second and third. You would think Aaron Booth is going to be out the front, the man to catch. But those silver and bronze medals are going to be very challenging to claim one of those. And how cool is it to be tracking this over the weekend? I can't wait to get Sarah and digest this further.
Well, just one thing to note, just so by way of indication, I kind of thought, okay, let's try and give a measurement. So when it comes to the shot put, 13 metres would equate to 667 points via the system that they calculate. So 13 metres is around that sort of area. And here we see the medal ceremony for that outstanding women's high jump. Alex Highland, I guess, a little bit forgotten. It's not like her performance was chopped liver either. There's Imogen Skelton with a PB. Silver medal, Keely O'Hagan. 1 metre 88. Having a look at 1 metre 90. Only 3 New Zealand women that have jumped over 1 metre 90. Liz Gapes, formerly Liz Lamb, Tanya Murray, and the lady who is part of our commentary team, and we'll get her involved very shortly, and Sarah Carly Ross.
The best high jumper of our commentary team easily.
So there you go, and that's great to see for Keely O'Hagan. And yes, heading off to Sydney, as you heard her say to Sarah, and Nicole McDermott, she's a good jumper. She is a good jumper. But what have we been saying over the course of the first 2.5 days, Hayden? Those good athletes that have the ability to draw out that little bit extra. Now we're straight into, I can tell that conversation was going no further because on your screen you see 800 metres, and that is right in the wheelhouse of Hayden Sherman providing the expert analysis. We have got Sarah Cowley Ross as well, part of your commentary team here on Sky Sport Next. But,
I'm pumped.
This looks like a really good one, Hayden. I'll let you talk through that field.
I'm very pumped. This is a straight final, and look at this lineup. We've got reigning champ Catherine Camp, or two-time reigning champ Catherine Camp lining up. It looks like her form's coming into form at the right time. But Holly Manning running in lane 3. She just dropped a big PB of 2:04.41, which I want to say makes her the favourite in this. And then Jenny Hawker, she has also dropped a PB of 2:05.61. So those 3 will be the ones to watch. But look, we've got a whole bunch of women around that sort of mid-2s, 2:04 through to 2:07, 2:08. This is going to be an absolute cracking 2-lap race.
So let's just set the scene here for you. From the inside, it's Rosa Twyford of Canterbury. Lane number 2 is Jessie Speedy of Auckland. Then Holly Manning of Hawke's Bay Gisborne is in 3. Catherine Camp. Lane number 4, Kerry White, Waikato Bay of Plenty in lane 5. Jennifer Hawker of Auckland, lane 6. Emma Douglas in 7. Tilly Hollier is in lane number 8.
And this is going to be interesting how this plays out. Will one of those ladies go to the front and just make the others work for it? This is how the 800 is often played out. You can afford to front run it and make the others chase you. But at the moment, it's looking like it's going to be a bit more of a tactical affair. It's where you see Holly Manning, one of the local favourites, hoping to get a win in this 800, just tuck into the pack there. And we've got Jennifer Hawker wearing the Auckland colours on the outside as well.
So it is actually Kerry White of Waikato Bay of Plenty who is just going to lead them through. Hayden Sherman will have the stopwatch out and see what the splits is. So it's the moment it is White from Hawker on the outside. Just sitting nicely in there is Holly Manning. That is Catherine Camp, 2.94 in the 1-1, as they say in the racing game, just sitting out. Good position. Then on the inside of her, that's Rosa Twyford. That's your top 5.
Oh, but now we see moves. Shoving there. So they go through the bell at 1:03. So it's definitely slower. Holly Manning goes wide past the national cross country champion Kerry White, and Holly Manning really putting in a surge there. At the moment, it's only Jenny Hawker who's going with it. Elbowing and hustle has really cost Catherine Camp a few metres.
But this is something that Catherine Camp has worked on. She used to say the last 200 was her weakness. She's got a lot of work to do here. Manning has just gone at the 400 and saying, catch me if you can.
Yeah, she's
Hawker
really
chasing hard.
Really gritting her teeth, and this is the most challenging part in any race on the planet. The last 200 of an 800, the pain is horrific. You can see her just gritting her teeth, head back. She knows this track well. She's one of your hometown girls.
This is going to be interesting. Does she have it? She's got a good advantage at the moment. Manning. Here comes Camp trying to finish hard. Manning. She's done it really well. She saw the opportunity. She's pounced, and she's going to win it on home soil in a cracking time.
Wow.
Camp gets silver. Then it's Hawker who's going to come through for third. But we're looking at time around 2:04 for your national champion, Holly Manning.
I think she might have just run a PB, 60-second last lap. Absolutely phenomenal kick. Just timed that to perfection. So Kerry White, the national cross-country champion, she took it out harder at the start. She's more of the endurance athlete.
2:03.76. Sorry, Hayden, had to get that in there for you.
2:03.76. That's a big PB. So set up with that, it wasn't electric, but it was steady. And then a 60-second last lap by Holly Manning to set a new PB, just peel away from the pack and claim herself a national title. Wonderful to have Holly Manning back on our shores running the best she ever has in her life.
There she is on your screen. That's a fantastic performance. Another victory for a hometown athlete as well. I was chatting with Richard Potts this morning, and he was very, very pleased with some of the effort of the under-18 and under-20s already. You can see Sarah Cowley-Ross down there. And hopefully we will hear from Holly Manning. But, gee, that was a superb performance. And just when there was that little bit of argy-bargy, she just jumped on it and really accelerated through the 400. Yeah, gets the high five from the former Olympian. You take that, don't you?
Yeah, I think Catherine Camp just got herself into an awkward position at the bell, and often at the bell you get these weird movements of people like, I got to get out, and then you get elbows, you get pushed back, you got to surge, and it gets really tricky. So, Catherine Camp manages to get into the medals with that second place and just edging out Jenny Hawker. But what a run from Holly, and I think we have Sarah Cowley-Ross down her trackside almost ready to roll.
Yeah, we're just getting that all set up for you, and we will talk to Holly Manning very shortly. Of course, we have got the 800 metres for men not too far away. In fact, I think we're in a position now where we can actually make our way down trackside. So we're just waiting for the confirmation here as we are heading down, I believe, to Sarah Cowley-Ross, who is standing by with Holly Manning. We've just got a wee bit of an issue here at the moment just with the microphone for Sarah. We will just get that rectified as we look over to where the long jump is. Of course, we're getting ready for that, and you can see Olivia McTaggart in the background as well. Pole vault not too far away.
A lot of excitement here on the track already, and plenty more to come. Imogen really loves this track. All the pole vaulters seem to love it here in Hastings. And so I can't wait to see how this pole vault competition unfolds and whether we can see some Com Games marks put on the board. So we'll have Imogen Eris and Olivia McTaggart and back down to Sarah, who's ready to roll.
And we're back, and I'm here with Holly Manning, winner of the senior women's 800 metres, 2:03, a massive personal best. How does that feel, Holly?
Oh, it feels awesome, especially to be at my home track. It just kind of felt like any other training session, so definitely got a good advantage, the home court advantage, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's awesome, feels good.
And you've been away in the States on a collegiate scholarship. How great is it to come back, with that collegiate experience and show up here at National Champs?
So cool. I was definitely nervous about it. I'm training on my own, and my coach is still my coach in the States, so I was nervous, but it's definitely paying off and feels awesome. Good to be back.
Well, you've had an awesome season, Holly. It's been great to watch you. What's next for you?
I'm going to head to Australia for Australian Nationals and in the Brisbane Classic, so yeah, I'm excited for that.
Well, all the best. Great to see such awesome running out of you today. Congrats on your personal best. First national title. We've got shot put going on the back here. So we'll head back to you guys up at the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Sarah Cowley-Ross. Congratulations to Holly Manning. We are getting ready now for the first of the two timed finals in the 800 metres for men. You heard a big grunt behind Sarah and Holly there before. And that there was the start of the men's shot put. Well, this is a really good field. Logan Cowie in lane one, Sam Averill, James Preston, who'll be a man to keep an eye out for. Michael Dawson, Daniel Roswell, James Harding of Auckland as well. Aaron Booth, he has started with a throw of 13 metres. So Aaron, throw just over 13 metres. So as we said, 13 metres gets you 667 points. So this is going to be interesting to watch this event unfold, the 800 metres.
Yeah, it's a solid field. We've got, I'm trying to add up how many sub 150 guys we've got in this field, but off a rough count, I'm going to say it's 5 lining up. And as you mentioned, James Preston is definitely the man to beat in this field. We've got 2 heats, 2 timed finals. This is the quicker of those 2 heats. Also, we've got James Harding in the middle, who's the youngster coming up through the ranks. He's got a PB of 1:48.95. We've got Dominic Devlin, who's medalled multiple times in this event. He's got a PB of 1:49. And then we've got Michael Dawson, who's a previous winner of this event, who's been a sub 150 runner at his best as well. So good to see him back with the shoes on. Often you'll find him with the camera around his neck, and this time the shoes are on, and good to see him back racing.
Just pointing out as well that the national and resident record, 1 minute 44.3, Peacenell, Auckland, 3rd of February, 1962, was pointed to a fascinating article, as you see the heats there for this 800 metres, was pointed to a fascinating article about the athlete who pacemaked that particular race down on Lancaster Park on that particular day. Wonderful piece, because you weren't meant to have pacemakers, and the pacemakers actually had to complete the entire race. You couldn't just step out of the way. So, but again, another brilliant piece of writing, and I still think that there was an extraordinary mark sort of coming, just 3 days after he set the mile record at Cook's Gardens in Wanganui. The pacemaker pointing out as well is about how there was, the rain around made it a bit tricky as well.
Yeah.
I never knew that there was rain involved too. Talks about how literally the dirt was just flicking up off his spikes as he powered past him to head off. And it's another brilliant bit of writing. So if you have the opportunity, as we see Anna Grimaldi, she's in action in that senior long jump.
Yeah, it's all happening here. We've got Paralympians in the long jump, Paralympic champions, I should say, in the long jump. We've got some of our best 800-metre runners lining up.
I saw Anna Grimaldi there.
We've got the decathlon you can see there. We've got Max Teodora about to throw the shot.
We had an opening jump, by the way, for Grimaldi of 5 metres 32 for Anna. 800 metres. And away.
Yeah, away nice and strong. Good to see James Preston really getting out of the blocks nice and quick on the inside. The only yellow competitor from Wellington, wearing the yellow of Wellington Scottish. So he looks like he might be moving into the lead. So he's coming into this with a lot of intent, really saying to this pack, boys, follow me if you can.
That's a tempo. That's a really big tempo as they go through the 200 in about 25 seconds.
Woo. Really flying. So that's world record pace, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So he has come here to move. Dominic Devlin, the only one willing to chase him, wearing the headband of 144 Auckland. And look at James Preston fly. He's saying, look, it's still conditions. It's nice and warm. This is perfect for running a fast 800. I'm just going to do it solo. Let's get a split at 1 lap to go. 51 exactly. So a slight slow up, but he's still on for an impressive pace. James Harding sitting there in third place.
So 1 minute 46.52 is Preston's PB. He's clearly come here with a plan, a number. Maybe he's sort of thinking, can I do something and sneak myself into a Commonwealth Games spot perhaps?
The question
is lovely
has he
running.
Gone too hard too early, but that gap is opening, if anything, to Dominic Devlin. It's going to be a good battle between him and James Harding. But at the moment, we're seeing an absolutely wonderful display of 800-metre running. We talked about Snell. This is incredible. Can he hold it together for the final 100?
He has got lovely form to maintain as he hits the home straight. He steers down. This is going to be a very good time for James Preston. He's going to win the 800-metre national title, and he's going to do so in very convincing fashion.
Wow.
And he won't find himself too far away from his personal best as the clock stops around that late 146, early 147 mark. That is a wonderful performance by James Preston, who has just absolutely run his race and run it to nigh on perfection.
He emptied the tank and, my goodness, just put it all on the line to go through in 25 solo, then 51 solo. The time's just come up 147.00, so just slightly outside his personal best. But to do that solo, and you saw he lost quite a fair whack of time in that last 200. Just the lactate, the acidosis in the legs was just that bit too much. But man, is he looking good.
Harding and Devlin, almost the forgotten men given how well that was run by Preston. Harding was silver. Devlin. Well, yeah. we shouldn't say that just yet because there is another heat to go.
There is,
but you would suspect.
Jot down that 150.65 because that is the time to get into the medals. But yeah, like you're about to say, you would expect the quicker times to come from this field. You can see Mikhail Starzinski in 7th place with the 152.84, really demonstrating how quality that field was. But man, James Preston came here with a game plan and just from the gun executed.
So the shot put at the Decathlon, it is Aaron Booth who leads in that particular discipline. He's throwing 13 metres 57. So that 13.57, by the way, worth 702 points. So he's been very consistent. He had 1,699, so he can tack on another 702. Of course, Hayden Sherman, my job, do the calculations. Sherman's job, just keep a track on how that compares for Aaron to his performance, gold medal winning performance at the World University Games.
Let me dig in. I think that's a pretty solid throw from Aaron.
This is Ethan Phillips on your screen.
Just in the weeds of going through some 100-metre data, or some 800-metre data. You can spot the middle distance geek in the crowd. So 12.96 was Aaron Booth's shot put performance in Italy to win that World Uni game. So he's on fire today. Really shows that he's put that work into the throws, maybe rubbing shoulders with a few events with the likes of Tom Walsh and Jacko and all the local Kiwi throwers. Maybe really just helped him to lift his game.
Here's the other thing, I suppose. Do we need to be looking at sort of Commonwealth Games qualifying marks, that sort of a thing? What he needs to do for that?
That's a very good
point. Or am I being a little bit too presumptive, too premature?
So the B standard would be 7,850. So 7,850 points across the 10 events. A standard would be 8,100. So a reminder, you really need to rack up a few of those B standards to be considered. A standard isn't a guarantee that you'll get through, but certainly a big old nod to the selectors that, hey, you're on form. And, of course, the decathlon's slightly different because you don't run that many of them. We're going to cross over to the B heat, second time final, I should say, of the 800. And in this field, we have Travis Baylor on the inside from Manawatu Wanganui, Josh Brown, Samuel Phillips, Hector Farmer, Julian Baker, Max Karamanolis, Ben Bidouar, George Gurin, Sam Petty, who's a previous medalist in this event. So no slouches here. Of course, the husband of Angie.
Coach Petty, the Petting coaching group actually has had some good success. We saw them, Angie with a 1, 2, 3. Sam and Angie doing a bit of coaching while they await the birth of their first child. Congratulations to them.
Now, reminder, the first heat went through in 25. This one's gone through with Sam in the lead at 27, maybe 26 high. So it's more controlled. That's more appropriate for most of these guys. As we see them just round the bend, Sam looking pretty comfy up the front. Now, to make the medals, that 150.65. So that means you've got to be averaging about 55. As we see, just a nice group there with Hector Farmer at the back, just losing contact slightly with that group. So they go through in 56.3, which means these guys will have to absolutely put the burners on to consider getting into the medals.
Just very nicely paced by Sam Petty at the moment. Ben Bidouar, an athlete that's stepping up into those senior ranks. Now here comes a move from another Canterbury athlete coming to the outside, just trying to catch who that is. I think you'll find it's Josh Brown, and it is. So Brown to the outside. I wonder if there's a little bit of coach-pupil going on in this particular race. I wonder whether there's any of Sam and Angie's charges that are trying to compete, trying to show the coach how it's done. But Sam Petty really striding out here at the moment. Brown trying to chase him down.
Sam looking really good in his Cantabrian teammate, and big battle for the minor places in this particular race. They're going to miss that 150 time, but this is a really good run from Sam. Went to the front early and has stamped his mark on this competition. 152 high. Wonderful running with the Wellingtonian there. Max Karamanolis coming through for third place, it looked like to my eye.
So just checking that one coming through, but those times will not trouble that from the first heat. In fact, as we have got the person from that first heat, James Preston, who is your national 800-metre senior men's champion. And right now he is downstairs alongside our very own Sarah Cowley-Ross as we get things all set. Let's go down to Sarah right now.
And I'm here with the winner of the men's 800. Incredible time, James Preston, 146 high. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, pretty happy. I mean, the main goal was to come out and run through the 4 and the 6 pretty hard and see what I got left over the last 200. So did those both right. Can't complain, yeah.
Can't complain. National title, that's number 2 for you, but you've got lots of junior titles in the bag already. In terms of going forward from here, you ran by yourself today. You know, good challenge from the other competitors, but it was really front-running, aggressive. Next week, you've got a key race lined up in your preparation. Who's going to be in that race and where are you going?
So going over to Sydney, at the moment I think we've got Peter Bowl over there, a few of the Australian guys, so hopefully get in behind a few guys rather than running from the front and sort of see what we've got left over the last 200.
Well, it's been awesome seeing you out here throughout the season, and I'm really looking forward to following you in Australia. Let's just go back to that race. Through the 451, then 600. What was the aim there, and what are you thinking in that last 200?
Yeah, so 51 through the 4 and then keep it rolling down the back straight. So we're about like a 117 high, 118. And at that point, it's just trying to hold on. If I can run a 29, 30 second last 200, then that's like a 147, 146. So, yeah.
Well, happy man, James Preston. Incredible run out there today. All the best for the season ahead. And back to you guys in the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Sarah Cowley-Ross. And isn't it great that the borders have opened, which is allowing that extra time for our athletes to go over, get some Australian competition. Remember, some of these marks that we're talking about sort of going through until the end of April. We are just going to take a very short break in our coverage here on Sky Sport Next of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. We'll be back in 20 minutes' time to continue the coverage throughout the afternoon. And the afternoon stacked. 100 finals, high jump, hammers, all of it coming for you on Sky Sport Next. We'll be back at 12:35.